Well, hello. What is going on, guys? So, I'm already getting text messages. What the hell? It is a new year. And with that, I figured I would do a Q&A. I haven't done one of these in a while. So, hello, everybody in the chat. I see some usual suspects. We got Sky Min, Mikey Hartley, Aiden Baldwin, Rodney Vance, Jason Nike, Dale. I know you're in there. Yeah, there he is. Dale Strunk. Oh, reliable Dale. What's going on, guys? So, Thursday, the end of my first work week. I work Monday through Thursday, and think I've gotten a collection of 20 hours of sleep since Sunday. So yeah, but yeah, haven't been able to do a live stream in a while, aside from the one that I did with Sean and the one that I did with Brian, because I had to tear this room all apart all through the Christmas break. So plan on doing a lot more, but life happens. But now that we're all whole back together, everything's looking good back there. Gonna try to do more of these. So I'm not promising anything just yet as far as the schedule, but I'm going to try to do like a Q&A one week and maybe a commentary the next week, something like that. Something a little bit more scheduled. But yeah, what's going on, guys? So Ty Leak shows in here. How did you feel about what happened in DC, Cody? It's ridiculous. That's all I'll say. I'm not really trying to get into anything political, so I'm going to be careful and not take too many questions like that. But yeah, I mean, anything like that, I think, is pretty hard not to say it's ridiculous. Happy New Year, guys. I see a couple Happy New Years in here. Are you watching the new Shameless season? Dank Bloop wants to know. I have not watched any episodes yet. I like to binge watch shows. I don't really like to wait week to week to week. I guess I'm spoiled like that now. So I know it's been going for a couple weeks. I'm going to let it probably get 2/3 of the way through the season at least, and then we'll start watching it. And it's the final season, I believe, too. So that's going to be interesting. I might do a Shameless ranking afterwards, just because that's one of the few shows that I've watched start to finish. I didn't like last season at all. Last season to me would definitely be like the weakest season thus far. You definitely felt Fiona's absence, and the storylines that they decided to go with didn't really do a whole lot for me personally. So I'm curious if this season's going to end it on a little bit better of a note, or if it's going to end it on another crappy season, which otherwise the show's been pretty damn consistent. So we'll see. We'll cross our fingers. But no, I have not watched any of it yet. All right. Are your thoughts on the Rob Zombie still the same? My thoughts on the Rob Zombie is still the same. He is a great singer, but not a great director. No, I'm just kidding. So the Rob Zombie films, I'm assuming is what you're asking. Yeah, I mean, my opinion hasn't really changed on him at all. I think the dude has the potential to give us an awesome horror film, but he just can't write at all, in my opinion. If he can direct his ass off, he just can't write. So yeah, I love Halloween 2. I know that is probably the most unpopular opinion on my channel thus far, especially those Michael Myers cultists that love to throw that out there. Oh yeah, but you like Halloween 2. Well, there's some other guys that you Halloween guys love and worship that love Halloween 2 as well, but we won't get into that. But yeah, I love that movie. That's probably my favorite of his, even though I know that that's most people's least favorite. I do appreciate the Lords of Salem. I think that that's his best directed movie, but it really nosedives in the third act for me. And while I did not like them at first and I didn't understand what the big deal was, I have grown to like House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects a little bit. Eventually I will review the Firefly trilogy. I was going to do it when Three from Hell came out, but everybody just trashed that movie to hell, and I just at the time I just didn't want to deal with it. But I'll review those, and then I'll do a Rob Zombie ranking, because Three from Hell is the only one that he's made that I haven't seen. Oh, I got a super chat somewhere. Where are you at, you slippery bitch? All right. Hey, brother, Happy New Year. Have you ever seen Drag Me to Hell? Just watched for first time and gotta love some Sam Raimi. Well, thank you so much for the question in the super chat. Yes, I have seen Drag Me to Hell. Have I reviewed Drag Me to Hell? I'm at the point in my YouTube career where I've forgotten what the hell I've done, because I was talking in my Off the Shelves review. Look this up. I was talking in my Off the Shelves review about The Irishman, and I was like, yeah, I got a full review for this movie. I don't. We talked about it on Autop Stream, and then I just convinced myself that I reviewed it. Drag Me to Hell, I have not reviewed. I think I had that on maybe off the shelves. But yes, I do like Drag Me to Hell a lot. It's a little bit too goofy for me. Like, I know that's the Sam Raimi tone, that Evil Dead thing. Pushes it a little bit too far for me, but I think it's a damn good movie. Easily 4 out of 5 stars. I'd have to watch it again to see if it would be, a little bit above that or not. But it's definitely a movie I would recommend. So yes, I enjoy it very much. How many 31 on 31s can we look forward to in 2021? Well, that depends entirely on 2021. This year, as of right now, assuming no movies get canceled, delayed, anything like that, is stacked. Like January and February kind of suck. And then you get into like March, April, and it's like, oh, it's picking up. And then from then, it's like huge movie every single week. And that's not even counting movies that I don't even know about yet. I'm just looking at the ones that I recognize, the big ones. So it's going to be a busy year if, things go back to normal as far as movies and movie theaters go. So the only reason that we did 4 of them for last year is because there was nothing else really to do. So we wanted to do the action one. We were planning on doing 2. And then Sean brought up the idea of doing the Marvel versus DC. We were like, all right, well, let's do this before Wonder Woman comes out. And then that got delayed months. And then we already were 3 deep. I'm like, all right, well, let's do Nolan and Tarantino. So, well, I guess technically that one's going to be 2021. So that got delayed. So there was 3 last year. So you're going to get at least 2. You'll get the one that we're going to do here on January 31st. You're absolutely going to get the one in October. We already mostly have the franchises picked out. Or at least I know the theme that we're going for. I already have the title and the thumbnail and everything in my head. I just have to work out some finer details. And me and Brian actually this afternoon were talking about some ideas for some future ones. One of them will for sure, if nothing gets delayed, happen at the very end or the very beginning of 2020, the very end of this year or the very beginning of 2022, similar to how this month's 31 on 31 is, because there's a movie coming out in December that is going to be a part of this idea. And it's just going to depend on whether or not we can get a 31 on 31 done in the last couple weeks of the year, or if we need to delay it to January. But if nothing gets delayed or canceled or pushed to 2023 or anything like that, you're going to get 3 this year. The one that you're getting the end of this month, the Halloween one, and then one in December, maybe January. Oh, I think I got another super chat. Hang on. CBMF Productions, what are you most excited for as in terms of TV this year? For me, it's the Dexter revival, Better Call Saul Season 6, and WandaVision. Happy New Year. Well, thank you so much. Basically, that entire list that you just gave me, with the exception of WandaVision, that's one of my ones that I'm least anticipated for. I would throw the Falcon and the Winter Soldier on there. But Dexter revival is absolutely, TV-wise, the thing that I'm most interested in this year. They just announced Clancy Brown's going to be the villain. Hell yes. Awesome casting. Better Call Saul's final season. Hell yes. Cannot wait. And the Marvel shows I'm morbidly curious about. WandaVision, I don't really get what they're going for quite yet, but I'm sure, it's not a good business to bet against Marvel. I'm sure that they have something cool in mind. So I'm sure I'm going to like it. I'm just not particularly excited for it. Very excited for Falcon and Winter Soldier, though. Let's see. And I thought there was one more here. Barthon, what's up, man? What would you personally like to see included for a Scream Factory Nightmare on Elm Street box set? Oh man, how much time do you have? First of all, if they do not give us artwork that is on the level of that Friday the 13th box set, I'm gonna riot in the fucking street. It might just be me with my pitchfork and that's it, but I'm gonna do it. That box set that we have right now, I'm just gonna go grab it. Look at this ugly bitch. This is what we have. This is all we have. A fucking gray box with a clip art of Freddy, the most generic Nightmare on Elm Street font that I've ever seen. And then you open it up and there's nothing here. It's the same thing. It's just a clamshell with fucking 7 red blank discs. It is the most generic box set for a major horror franchise that is out there. Chucky has 2 awesome box sets. Now Jason's got one. Michael's had one. Technically has 2 because he has the cheaper version, the one that I have. You got Phantasm that has a badass one. Critters, for fuck's sake, has a good box set. So artwork, number 1. Put some effort into that. Number 2, I would like some kind of updated commentary or updated, interview or something with Robert Englund now, like retrospective, talking about it, like which ones he likes, what, his memories with them. I think they should put the Nightmare on Elm Street, the Never Sleep Again documentary as part of it. I was kind of shocked that the Crystal Lake Memories was not included in that box set for all the things that they give. I don't mean to be a greedy bitch, but I was surprised that that was not included. And assuming that we're not going to get that until there is a new film on the way or possibly already out in theaters and then coming to Blu-ray, and that's a part of the set, some kind of a documentary or a special feature or something about how they're reviving Freddy and whatever new actor is going to be playing him, because it's time to accept it, guys. Robert Englund's not going to play him again. I'm sorry. But yes, awesome question, Eobard. We need it. We need it bad. As a Freddy fan, I'm getting pissed that everybody else keeps getting their day and Freddy's just left with this ugly bitch right here. And thank you, by the way, for my my thing back there in the background. You can kind of see it. I have all of them right there. If you guys saw my fan mail unboxing today, Eobard's the one that sent me all of those little blood Petri dishes, and they are awesome. Noah, right below it, is there any horror movie that is worse than Freddy's Dead? There is a lot of movies, both in the horror genre and otherwise, that is worse than Freddy's Dead. Freddy's Dead is not the worst movie ever made. There is absolutely unwatchable trash movies out there. Freddy's Dead is just my least favorite movie of all time. It's the movie that aggravates me the most. And it's not the same thing. Just because it's my least favorite movie, I'm not saying definitively this is the worst piece of shit ever put to film. This is just a movie that if you go Freddy's Dead, oh, that's the one that gets the most that reaction. So yes, there are worse movies. All right, I see at least 2 more super chats, 3 more super chats. Where are we at? Daniel Skinner. Hey, Cody, there's a new horror film called The Reckoning releasing in theaters and VOD on February 5th. From the trailer, it looks promising. Well, I'm not going to watch the trailer, but let me look up The Reckoning to see what the hell this is. The Reckoning. 2020. No, 2021. Dumb shit. Or it is a 2020 movie. Okay. Adventure horror film. Marshall's period drama set against the backdrop of the Great Plague, subsequent witch hunts in England. Well, the picture, the here, I can screen share. The poster here looks interesting. Not that I can't zoom in on it a little bit. Oh, nope, still looks shitty. So yeah, I don't know. I'll look into that. I'll check out the trailer whenever we're done here. But yeah. Hopefully we're going to get a lot more movies to talk about this year. A lot better movies to talk about this year, too. Gary, thank you. Best Spider-Man soundtrack from Sam Raimi films. I don't know. Scores is not really something that I nerd out about too much. So I really don't know too much of a difference between Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. So I don't know. I can't really answer that question too much. I would imagine, since 2 is the best, that maybe 2 has the best score, but that's not always the case. And let's see. I know there's one more poking out down here. Daniel Skinner. Just out of curiosity, Cody, have you seen the snow thriller called Frozen 2010? Not the trashy animated film. It's actually a good animated film. It's just it's the movie that took over the world, so we get tired of talking about it. It is a serious snow thriller where 3 people are stuck in an ice rink alone, freezing. Yes, I have seen that movie where they're stuck in the ski lift and there's wolves chilling out down below and they're going to freeze to death because nobody's coming back till after the weekend, and then they have to figure out what the hell they're going to do to survive. It was directed by Adam Green. He's the guy that does the Hatchet movies, which I only like 1 and more or less despise the other 3. So I would need to watch it again. I remember thinking it was okay. I didn't think it was as great as people make it out to be. It's certainly grim and it's certainly different and unique for a horror film, just somebody being stuck in the elements. But it's definitely not a very rewatchable movie. It's a pretty downer of a movie. But yes, I have seen it. Don't let her look. Don't let her look. Oh shit. I just saw a good question and I fucking scrolled right past it. Where the hell did you go? Give me 1 second. Dream Child could be worse. Absolutely fucking not. Here we go. Joey's movie blog. First Blu-ray that you bought. The first Blu-ray that I owned was Spider-Man 3. It was actually bundled with the PlayStation 3 that I bought. I had graduated from high school and I had gotten a lot of money from relatives and gifts and stuff like that. And my parents gave me, $300 or $400 with full well knowing that I wanted a PlayStation 3. So later on that week, I went to Walmart and they had that bundle. That was the only one that Walmart had at the time, was the PlayStation 3 with Spider-Man 3 Blu-ray. And oddly enough, I was stupid because this was like the first HD thing that we even had in our house. And so I plugged it in with the, red, yellow, and white cables that we used to use all the time. And I was like, this doesn't look any fucking better. What's this bullshit? And then I do a little research and I'm like, oh, you got to get this expensive ass cable. HDMI cables are cheap now. You can get them for like $7, but this was like a $40 cable at the time because it was the new thing. So I went to Best Buy. I got the HDMI cable with the charging cable. And I think I bought Rainbow Six Vegas 2. And I bought one more Blu-ray that I think was the Patriot, and came home and we watched. I put Spider-Man 3 on with the HDMI, and it was like, oh, it's glorious. It was like this whole new experience. So yes, Spider-Man 3, which I love. Rob Zombie Halloween 2. I don't know if that's a question or a statement, but fuck yes. Could you review New Jack City and Boys in the Hood for the 30th year anniversary sometime this year? New Jack City is actually a movie that I don't think I've ever watched the entire thing all the way through. I've seen that movie in its entirety in pieces numerous times. So maybe on that one, but if it is the 30th year anniversary for Boys in the Hood, I will absolutely review that movie this year as long as I don't forget about it, because I love the hell out of Boys in the Hood. And that's a great reason to randomly review that movie is, hey, it's the anniversary. So, yes, keep an eye out for that possibly. Do you know what month is that anniversary? I can look it up myself, obviously, but it's easier to ask. Are you a Star Trek fan? I grew up watching Next Generation once in a great while with my dad, and we saw every single one of the Next Generation movies in theaters together, from Generations all the way through to, what's the last one? Star Trek Nemesis. I've seen all those in theaters. Always loved First Contact the most by far. The other ones I think I only watched in theaters and never watched again. So I liked it growing up. I knew the character names. I would watch it and enjoy it with my dad. I was never like a fanatic. I was never one to like take the show and watch it on my own. And aside from First Contact, just because I loved the Borg, that horror thing in me was kicking. I was like, oh, monsters. I like that. Aside from the Borg, and I had my own like little ship that I got for Christmas, that little cube. That was the only movie that I ever rewatched. So Star Trek, I really enjoyed the newer movies with Chris Pine and all of them, even though we're not going to get any more for some odd reason. Didn't make enough money, I guess. I really enjoyed all three of those. And I've seen only Wrath of Khan in the original Star Trek, as far as the movies go. I've only seen a couple episodes of the original series too, mostly the ones that deal with Khan and then maybe one more. So extremely casual fan. Freddy's Dead is greater than Dream Warriors. That's not even funny. It's not even funny. You should be ashamed of yourself. Now go to your room. You're grounded. Did I miss a super chat? Yes, I did. Daniel Skinner. Frozen 2010 is currently on Hulu right now. So if you want to review, watch it, go ahead. Also, thanks for the Hatchet shout out. Great first film. Yeah, I like the first one. The first one's fun. It took me a while to warm up to it. When I first saw it, I was like, what's the big deal with this shit? And I hadn't quite really dove into a lot of the cheesier 80s movies yet. I was kind of still in my comfort bubble of Freddy and Chucky and, Misery and all these other movies I grew up with. But the more that I watch the original, the more that I enjoy it for the throwback, campy, cheesy, shitty slasher movie that it is. But 2 and 4, Victor Crowley, absolutely hated them. 3 was decent. It just didn't deliver the way that I wanted it to. It was really overhyped for me with this fight that was going to happen between Derek Mears and Victor Crowley. So it was going to be remake Jason versus, everybody's favorite Jason. And I was like, oh, that's going to be pretty badass. And I was looking forward to it the whole movie and the fights like that. And after that, I kind of, my experience with it was like, oh, okay, whatever. Oh, man. Do you have any general thoughts on Lord of the Rings? I do not, because I've only seen Fellowship of the Ring. I bought the 4K set. It actually just came in the mail yesterday with plans on rectifying that, because there's just some movie series that I just hear about and I'm like, I need to fucking watch these. I need to quit not being a part of the conversation. I'm not really a fantasy guy. Honestly, orcs and elves and wizards and all that stuff. It's just not really my thing. I know it's somewhat horrorish. I mean, it's like a cousin to horror. It's just a lot more lighthearted, but it's just never been my thing. I just don't even get into it. Like Game of Thrones, I enjoyed, but still I didn't enjoy it on the level that most of you guys did till the last season. But I wanted to check it out. So I've only seen the Fellowship of the Ring. I watched that had to be like 6 years ago now. I finally sat down. I was like, I'm going to watch this bitch. And I watched the extended edition, not realizing how extended it was. And I liked it. I enjoyed it for what it was. I wasn't like, batshit crazy about it, ready to pop in the second and the third one that night. But because obviously 6 years later, I haven't. But I did enjoy it. So looking forward to checking them out. Wesley Thomas, damn bro, setup looks badass. Thank you. I'm pretty happy with how it looks now. I've got the LED lights working better. I got the room painted. I love, having Chucky right there. I just got this art canvas yesterday, which I don't know if you could tell what it is from the bottom half. I'm not going to remove my camera, but it is Jules from Pulp Fiction. It's from his mouth down where he's got the drink and he's got his gun and it says Ezekiel 25:17 in the bottom rim of the cup. I got that from iHeart Canvas or iCanvas, something like that. It was much bigger than I thought it was going to be, but I wanted to stick it there so that it's in view. What is your opinion on the Wrong Turn franchise? I've only seen 2 of them. I like the first one. The last time that I watched it, I didn't like it as much as I thought I did. It was like, okay, it's 2.75, 3 out of 5 star kind of movie. It's entertaining enough. It's derivative of a lot of things that we've seen, but it's entertaining enough. The second one I've only seen once, and I remember the only thing I liked about it was that Henry Rollins was kind of cool in it. We originally were going to put Wrong Turn in our second 31 on 31, the one that had Texas Chainsaw in it, but we decided to scrap that idea and do some other franchises, thank God. So yeah, it's not a franchise that I'm looking forward to diving into, but I do know that we have the new Wrong Turn coming in February, something like that, maybe the end of January. I'll have to look it up, but that trailer looked interesting. So if my time opens up enough, maybe I'll squeeze out a quick Wrong Turn review series for when the new one comes out, and then I'll have to get tracked right back onto Saw because Spiral will be just a couple months away from that. Can finally stop all these Saw questions. Oh, what was the last movie that you saw in the movie theater? It was The Lost Boys, actually. I've seen 3 movies since February. I saw The New Mutants, and then a couple days later, I saw Tenet, and then a couple of weeks later, I went to take the kids to the theater for the flashback cinema that they have at Georgia Theater Company because they were playing The Lost Boys, and I was like, I'm fucking seeing The Lost Boys on the big screen, and it was a blast. As many times as I've seen that movie, I could quote every single line of it. It was still badass seeing it on the big screen. All right, I know there was a couple super chats because I've seen the colors popping up all over the damn place. All right, let me go back. All right. M. Diener. Bad horror movie with a good premise. Um, shit. That's a hard one off the top of my head. Bad horror movie with a good premise. The People Under the Stairs. I know that's some people would probably get pissed that I said that. I'm not a fan of that movie. I've tried to watch it 3 different times and it just does nothing for me, but I love the central concept of it. It's actually, it used to be my answer for what movie needs a remake. And now that we have obviously it and Chapter 2, the People Under the Stairs is now my answer to that question. What's a movie that we need a remake to? And even before this was announced, there's probably video proof of it somewhere on an old Autop stream. I said that Jordan Peele or somebody like that could probably do something really cool with it, because you can take that central concept and all of that social commentary with, you know, the racial side of the story would work really well for a modern horror film, and you could do a good modern spin on it. And then lo and behold, what was it, like 2-3 months ago, they said, hey, Jordan Peele's going to be producing a remake to Wes Craven's People Under the Stairs. And I was like, holy shit, somebody watches my show. Gary Rangel, thoughts on The Crow? I love it. Shouldn't be remade. I agree, and I agree. It's a pretty badass movie. I almost included it in my top 50 action movies, but it's one of those weird movies where I'm like, I don't think of action when I think of this, and I don't even quite think of horror. It's like one of those weird in-betweens. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the first Crow. I've never seen any of the sequels, believe it or not. That would be an interesting review series if we ever do get a remake, or maybe just a random review series where I feel like putting myself through some punishment. But yes, I love the first one. I think that they could make a remake to it and do something interesting with it, but they have just failed at every single attempt to do it. They've had directors and writers and stars leave it like crazy. There's been like 7 different versions of this movie just since I've been on YouTube. So I think that's kind of a sign from above that you don't need to touch it right now. Just let it be. Let it take the signs. Read the signs that this is not the time to do this, and let it be. There was originally an idea for Jason Momoa. I kind of like that idea. He's a little bit buff. Obviously, the smaller frame like Brandon Lee is kind of how you think of The Crow, but I wouldn't mind seeing Jason Momoa do it. But there's probably other actors that would do just as good, maybe even better. I heard Tom Hiddleston at one point. That would be interesting. He's got the frame for it. So, yeah, I like The Crow too, and I think that it shouldn't be remade anytime soon, for sure. All right, now let's see. I've got Henry. Do you like the movie Seven? It's a great movie, and even though it's a crime movie, it feels so much like a horror movie. To me, it is a horror movie. I mean, that's one of those movies that people like to argue about. That's a horror movie to me. Just like Silence of the Lambs, that's a horror movie to me. If you think it's a crime movie and it's not a horror movie, I would like to hear the argument for it. But there's some pretty horrific shit in Seven. But yes, I love Seven. A lot, like a lot. So we got 31 on 31 coming on January 31st. Seven is a part of that. You will see it high on that list. I've got my top 50 horror movies coming out. You will see it on that list. So yeah, Seven, for maybe the 1 or 2 of you that are watching right now out of 241 that have not seen Seven, see Seven. Like seriously now. Like you can come back and join the Q&A after you watch it. Mikey Hartley, know it sounds crazy, but wouldn't a Hilary Swank cameo be cool in Cobra Kai? A great Miyagi conversation could take place between her and Daniel. I don't know how I feel about that, just because that's my least favorite. Well, no, the remake's my least favorite, but I don't enjoy that movie at all. The next Karate Kid. I don't want the show to be cameo crazy. I mean, Kreese was like the original cameo where it was like, oh shit, Kreese is back. This might be some spoilers for season 3, by the way. So just earmuff it until I get rid of this comment if you don't want to know anything about season 3 Cobra Kai. 1, 2, 3. You've been warned. So season 3, then you get 3 cameos. You get Chosen, you get Kamiko, then you get Allie. And Allie was one that was obviously teased all the way through season 2. And then we're absolutely for sure going to get Terry Silver in season 4. I don't see any scenario where we don't. And that means that there's a possibility that Mike Barnes might come back at some point. So I don't want the show to be like, okay, what other person from the franchise can we get back? I mean, Hilary Swank's a pretty high paid profile actress too. So I don't know if they'll afford her for more than 5 minutes, but that's one that I could live without. If she shows up, I'll be like, oh, okay, cool, they got her. But it's not one that I would ask for. Let's see. Thank you so much for that donation. Ostro 1980 original Fright Night 2 review. You know what? Thank you for reminding me. At some point this year, depending on how crazy it gets, I do want to do a month or so where I do a lot of vampire and werewolf movies, and that will be one of them because I've reviewed the original Fright Night, and I bought the Blu-ray for the original Fright Night 2 with the intention of watching it and reviewing it, but things move so quickly that sometimes I have a plan and then I fucking forget it by the time the thing's even halfway through my head. So yes, thank you for reminding me. At some point this year, I'm going to try to do like a monster month or something like that and do some classic vampire and werewolf. Get American Werewolf in London and, Near Dark. I reviewed Near Dark, another vampire movie, and then Fright Night 2. All right, let's see here. I think, nope, I'm not caught up. I'm not even close to caught up. Holy shit. Scrolling back. All right. Could you do a ranking of Shane Black films? I know you're a huge fan of his, so it will be fun to see your thoughts. Also, thoughts on the Batman. Possibly at some point. That would not be near the top of my priority list, just because it'd be fun to do. But it doesn't get me excited quite yet. If he has a new film out, then definitely that would be something fun to do. The Batman looks awesome. From the trailer that we got, I'm in. I'm 100% in. Cannot wait for it. Apparently they're maybe going to do 2 different Batman franchises. If they can pull that off, shit, yeah, give me that too. More Batman. But yes, if that was coming out this year, that would have been number 1 on my most anticipated list. But it's 2022, so it will be number 1 on that list probably. All right, keep going down. Daniel Skinner, thoughts on Tales in the Hood 1995. I have never seen it, so I have absolutely no thoughts on it. Sorry that you paid to hear that non-answer. But yeah, sorry, man. I've never seen it. Henry, have you ever seen the horror movie Funny Games from 2007? If so, what do you think about it? I have seen 75% of the American shot-for-shot remake, the one with, is it Tim Roth that was in it? I watched it like basically right after the kids were in their house. So I don't know how much of the movie I missed, maybe 15 minutes or so. It was okay. It's interesting. It's different. It wasn't something that I watched and I went, oh, I need to watch that again. I need to check that out. It was like a one and done. Like, okay, that was grim. That was a little depressing. Moving on. But yeah, that's the only one I've seen. Thank you, Clayton. Will we ever get a sequel to Child's Play 2019? I have faith that we will. A lot of people tried to make it out like that movie bombed and failed and was this miserable, horrible idea. And it was because for some reason there's this whole side of the fandom out there that is just totally bowing down to Don Mancini and whatever he gives us, and anything else that's not that is just trash. And I don't subscribe to that cult at all. But yes, I thought the Child's Play 2019, despite having some significant issues, namely the design of the doll, was a damn good remake and was a very good addition to the Child's Play franchise and was something that I want to see followed up. And it made enough money to merit it. It made a good profit. It is like the second or third highest grossing Child's Play movie, I believe. So it didn't knock the fucking box office off the, the shelf like It or Halloween 2018, but I don't think anybody should have expected it to. So yes, I think we're going to at some point. I haven't heard any chatter. I haven't heard any negatives like, oh, that thing. No, we're not. Nothing else with that. So I would say I'd be surprised if by the end of 2022 we don't hear something about it. I would say this year, if it wasn't the world that we live in right now, if it was a normal year last year and things were going, I think we probably would have already heard about it. And now it's raining. Tyler Jackson, sorry if this has already been said, Cody, but can you tease what the theme of the next 31 on 31 is going to be? How can I tease it without giving it away? No, I can't. Do I have any props? Here we go. Here's your tease. I don't know if that means anything to any of you, but it means something to me. So that's enough of a tease. Papa Tim, we all have blind spots. What are some huge classics you've never seen that you intend to get to in 2021? Keep up the great work. Huge classics you've never seen. I have seen it, but I definitely want to review The Exorcist this year. I've given this story a couple of times, but it was really like overblown for me when I was a kid. I was told it was the scariest thing ever. When I watched it, it just wasn't for me. So I have not seen it since I was like 10 years old. I know that's sacrilege to the horror community. They think it's the greatest / scariest movie ever made. But because it wasn't that for me as a kid, I was just like, whatever, The Exorcist is The Exorcist. I want to watch it as an adult and see what my opinion is now. But I have seen that before. As far as movies that I have never seen before that I want to watch, damn, that's another one that's hard to come up with off the top of my head. We're gonna have to go with The Exorcist because I'm drawing a blank on something that I've absolutely never seen. Yeah, sorry. That's all I got right now. Bad joke alert. What would you say to Limp Bizkit as he puts his Christmas wrapping paper away? Keep rolling, rolling, rolling. You're better than that, CK78. You're better than that. All right. I'm close to catching up. I'm close, aren't I? Fuck, no, I'm not. I got like 4 more. Clayton Kelly. Hey, Cody, watch our channel from catching your Dexter reviews. Awesome. Is season 8 really that bad? I just finished the 4th. Worse than Game of Thrones? Well, I'm not the person to answer that question because I honestly enjoyed the last season of Game of Thrones. I did not watch it for years like everybody else did and just waited. I actually binged that entire series like the month that the final season aired. So I just went right there. It wasn't like this huge, year-long wait. It was definitely rushed. There was things about it that felt like they were given a violent shove in the story versus naturally getting there. And I don't understand why they made it a shorter season because that show is notoriously slow and patient as far as how long it takes. I mean, for fuck's sake, we got like a whole season or something like that of what the hell is her name? Arya being blind, just trying to learn this, the assassin guild or whatever the fuck she was in. There was like a whole season plus of her in training. Any other show, that would have been a 3 or 4 episode arc. So for a show that's so notoriously slow and meticulous about getting there, it was weird to finally get to the end and they were like, all right, hurry up, get it done. But I still overall enjoyed the season. I was fine with all the answers we were given, with who was going to be king and who lived and who died. I was cool with it. So getting back to your original question, is season 8 really that bad? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I don't want to overhype it for you because if I tell you it's the worst piece of shit ever, you're going to watch it and be like, oh, I mean, it wasn't that bad. But of all of the shows that I have watched and stuck with and loved, that is not only the worst finale, that's the worst season of television that I've ever watched. Honestly. Now, there's a lot of shows that I haven't watched, so maybe there's something worse out there that I can't compare it to, but for the level of greatness that's in the first 4 seasons, especially to get to that and that be the end, there's a reason why they're doing a revival. It's an apology. It's saying, okay, no disrespect to Mother Mayhem and those that actually appreciate that ending, but they're like, okay, we fucked up. Time to make it right. So yes, to me, it is that bad. Now I've only seen it once. So when I go to review it, maybe I'll be like, okay, on second watch, it's not quite that bad, but it's still disappointing. But for what my memory is right now, what would you personally want to remake, Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th? Like if I was in charge of it, neither of them, because I don't have the skills for that. But okay, if just for the sake of the question, let's say that I actually have, film school cred and I know how to direct a film and all that stuff. Which one would I want to remake? It would easily be Nightmare on Elm Street. Not only because I really love the Friday the 13th remake, and I don't, even though a lot of people don't like it, I would see that and be like, how am I going to better that? Nightmare on Elm Street, though, I think that I would have a lot of ideas that would make a cool modern Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I might do that as a video one day, like my pitch for a new Nightmare on Elm Street or something. That would be cool. But yeah, being that I'm a Nightmare fan, I have a lot of passion for it. And I feel like I would be able to look at the mistakes of the past. Obviously movie productions, things go wrong. So you could walk into it with the great intentions and walk out with a shit bomb movie. But I think I would have good ideas for that. Friday the 13th, I would be like, fuck, what do I do? Better fight scene, Batman warehouse scene or Spider-Man versus Doc Ock train scene? Absolutely the Batman warehouse scene. That's one of the best fight scenes, action scenes, whatever you want to say, for any comic book movie. It's fucking awesome. That is what I wanted an entire movie of Batman to be. All right, I'm close. I'm close. Michael Swift. Hey, Cody, Happy New Year. Do you think Cujo deserves a remake? I normally ain't a fan of killer dog movies, but Cujo is the only killer dog movie that I like and would see it get remade. No stupid CGI dog. I've only seen Cujo once as a kid. I did not like it. I've spoken to a lot of people, friend-wise, peer-wise, in the horror community that don't really care for it. So I don't feel like that story works well on screen. Now, granted, I could watch the movie as an adult and be like, oh, it's decent enough. But as a kid, I was like, so they're stuck in a car the whole movie and there's this dog out there. And maybe it was just the cheesiness of that movie itself. I don't know. I wouldn't want to see a remake just because two people being stuck in a car with a killer Saint Bernard outside. It's just, I don't think that's a story that you can do much else with. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to remake something, you want to do something new, something different, bring some new life to it. What more can you do with that? So I don't know. I'm glad you like it. Maybe there's something in the novel that I don't know about that wasn't translated to screen that would give this huge new dynamic. But to me, on paper, if they're like, hey, you want to make this movie? I'd be like, nope, give me something else. All right. Am I caught up? Nope, I'm not. Damn. Every time I answer one, four more appear. I'm not as fast as I think I am. Underappreciated horror movie icon or icons. Candyman. I would even say The Tall Man. And even though he's appreciated, I would say Hannibal. Hannibal's not really mentioned very often when you think of horror icons. And Norman Bates. Norman Bates, actually. A lot of my favorites are underappreciated. CBMF Productions. What are some great movies that you would never watch again? Some examples for me is the original Martyrs and Buried, starring Ryan Reynolds. Both of those movies I will never watch again. I wouldn't call them great. Buried was like, okay, that's an interesting idea that shows Ryan Reynolds and some of his acting chops. The original Martyrs was definitely interesting, but that's a movie that I'll never watch again, because not only because the entire third act, like 15-20 minutes straight, is just a girl getting the shit kicked out of her. But it's just, it's a movie that I'm like, I don't know. It's a hard movie to score. It's like, it's interesting. It had my attention. It had some things to say, but I don't know if I would say I was entertained. So great movies that I would never watch again. A lot of like the prestigious best, of all time. I'm not going to say I will never watch them again, but it's going to be a long time before I watch any of the Godfather movies again. I watched them when I was in high school, and here I am about to be 31 and I still haven't watched them a second time. So those are movies that I can watch, I can appreciate, I can value them, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go watch Goodfellas for the 20th time now. Another one that I'll never watch again. I can't think of specific examples, but every single year we get at least one or two movies that I watch that, a lot of the Oscar movies, basically, where it's like, yes, this is a great movie. Technically, this is a good piece of art, or a great piece of art, or a phenomenal piece of art, but I'm never watching it again. That's typically the movies that I would answer that with. I'm much more of a genre guy, much more of a, cult movie, stuff like that. I'm not really the prestige guy. Henry Lemoine. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly or not. Do you like the movie A Clockwork Orange from 1971? That's my favorite movie of all time. I have never seen it. There's a lot of Kubrick. That's a perfect tie-in to the last question. With the exception of like The Shining, Kubrick has a lot of movies like that from what I've seen that would probably be on that list of like, I would watch it and be like, okay, never watching that again. Like 2001 A Space Odyssey. I imagine if I ever watch that, that's going to be a one and done for me. Clockwork Orange, I imagine it's going to be a one and done for me. I've just never had the interest in checking it out. I get the concept of it. It's one of those movies that I'm intrigued by, but I've never felt like it's a must watch on my list. And I'm sure Brian Lomax's probably throwing up just spontaneously right now. He's like, oh, what the fuck is wrong with me? What's going on? Mike, thank you so much. All right. I think I had two more. Where am I at? There's Mike. Oh, Mikey's back again. Really dig your channel. Just started up a review channel of mine since being locked down. Any advice you can share to help starting up your channel? Yes. So they're going to sound cliche, but they're absolutely true. Number one is be yourself. You can take influence from people that you enjoy. You can take things that they do that you enjoy or that you like or that you want to do and do your own spin on it. But do not outright copy anybody. And especially don't just flat out rip off things. Like, don't just be like I'm going to do Jeremy Johns. I'm going to put a red background behind me and I'm just going to talk. Don't do a Chris Stuckman where like, I'm going to put Blu-rays behind me with some LED lights and I'm going to only talk the way that Chris Stuckman talks. Like, you can tell there's channels out there that do that. Like my buddy Sean Chandler, Uncle Sean, he's got like 3 or 4 people that not only do the same style as him, but create the background like him, which is, inspired by Chris Stuckman. But they'll use the same font in the thumbnails. They'll do the thing with the movie posters and that he does. Like it's funny. And there was actually one guy that I don't remember the channel name because I looked at it, I laughed, and then I moved on, that I could tell was ripping me off because he had, the number up here doing a ranking and the poster over here. And the thumbnail looked similar to me and some other stuff. And I was like, wow, this dude, he watches my channel. So don't be that guy. You could take influence, but be yourself. Otherwise, no matter how big you get, people will know. Number 2 is to don't get discouraged, because unless you just go viral like that, it's a long, hard, frustrating road to get successful on YouTube. I mean, I would call myself successful at almost 50,000 subscribers. But like I just mentioned, Sean started the same time as me and he's almost got 200,000. So, I mean, there's varying degrees of success, and there's people that started with me that still have 1,000. So, I mean, it's not always as easy as it might seem. There's a lot of things that come into it. There's talent. There's, sometimes it's just the algorithm, whether or not you hit it at the right time, whether or not you're lucky enough to get pumped out there to everybody to see once in a while. There's consistency, there's frequency, there's so many things that go into it that it's going to take a while for you to figure out that magic formula for what works for you, how your channel is going to work, and what succeeds and what doesn't. And there's going to be a lot of times where you'll dump your heart and soul into this video that you think is going to be an instant, awesome, viral thing, and it fucking bombs. And there's going to be this video that you just shit out in 2 hours that you give no fucks about, and you think it's just, whatever, I'll just put something out because I need to have something out. And then that goes viral. You never know. So that would be number 2. Number 3 is, I've mentioned it, but stay consistent. If you're going to upload 3 times a week, upload 3 times a week. If you're going to upload 1 time a week, upload 1 time a week. And then as far as what your channel is, stay consistent with that too. If you're going to be a movie review channel, don't throw vlogs and cooking instructionals and, skits and all that other bullshit on there. Do something and stick with it, because if somebody subscribes to you for movie reviews, they're not going to necessarily be interested in hearing what you have to say about filet mignon. And if they subscribe to that one video you did where you're grilling steak in the backyard, they're going to wonder why the fuck you're talking about movies now. So those are 3 things I'll give you for free. Well, not for free. I guess you paid for it for $5. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. MJ Nation, newer sub, following since mid-2020. You're a big movie guy and a fan of rock metal like me. So yeah, instant sub. awesome. Thoughts on prog rock metal? Progressive rock. I mean, I don't really get into the subgenres too much. There's so many subgenres. This is progressive metal, and this is inspirational metal, and this is melodic metal, and I just rock and metal. That's pretty much the umbrella that I sit under. So I don't know specifically what bands you would put underneath prog rock that you would want me to talk about. I'm just a fan of rock and metal in general. There's some that I like, some that I don't. I think that I have a limit as far as the amount of throatiness that I can stand. Like Killswitch Engage is about my limit for how much screaming and how much Cookie Monster vocal I can tolerate. Anything beyond that, I don't really get into. And on the other end of the spectrum, I have a certain limit of how radio friendly cookie cutter a song can sound before I'm like, okay, that's too generic for me. I can do with a little generic. We all got to pay the bills, even artists. I mean, Warrant hated Cherry Pie, and that's the song everybody knows him for. So, yeah, somewhere in that spectrum is where I lay. All right, let me see here. I'll try to do a couple in between these super chats, guys. I don't mean to ignore everybody that's not doing super chats, but there's so many of them. I finally got a PS5 secured today. Are you enjoying the system? I am loving the PS5. I have not had a single issue with it. All these reports that kept coming out are like, oh, this thing, it crashes and it bricks and it does this and it's ridiculous. I've never had an issue, and I played the fuck out of it. So never had an issue. Right now I'm playing Immortals Phoenix Rising, having a blast with it. I had no idea what this game was. I got a gift card at work at the Secret Santa. So that was $20. The game was on sale for $40. I was like, screw it. I'll just play this game. We'll see what it's like. And it's basically like Zelda Breath of the Wild with a little bit of God of War and a little bit of Assassin's Creed in there. And it's a very cool, lighthearted, fun game with an open world that's, similar enough without feeling like a ripoff of Breath of the Wild, where I'm like, cool, I feel like I'm playing a Breath of the Wild sequel. So I really enjoy that. And yes, I love the PS5 so far. I actually just got these in the mail today. So this is a mount to put my PS5 on the wall. I'm going to put it, I've just mounted my TV on the wall a week or so ago, and this is going to be like hidden behind the TV, or at least partially behind it. I want it to stick out a little bit. And then I have a controller mount and a headset mount that's going to be underneath my TV. So I'm still sexifying my room a little bit. All right. Connor, have you seen Parasite yet? If so, thoughts? I did see it. I saw it whenever it first came online on Amazon. I rented it. It's a good movie. It wouldn't have made it didn't make my top 10 that year. I don't know. There was something about it that, like, I feel like the big twist, and spoiler alert for a movie that's over a year old, but the big twist with the dude living in the basement or whatever, I don't know why I felt like there was something more coming, to where that it didn't disappoint me, but I was kind of underwhelmed with that whole twist. Like story wise, it makes sense. I get all the themes that they're going for and the title Parasite and what that means by the end of the movie. It's a very good movie. There's a reason why it won Best Picture, deservedly so. That is one of those movies, like that question earlier. What's a great movie that you've seen you'll probably never watch again? Parasite. Watched it. Okay, cool. That was good. I enjoyed it. Moving on. But yeah, for some reason that twist, I was expecting more. Maybe my horror brain was thinking like I was getting Martyrs vibes from it. As soon as they found that hidden door, I was like, oh fuck, they're torturing people just like in Martyrs. And it wasn't that. So my fucked up brain, I was kind of like, oh, it's not as grisly as I wanted it to be. What did you think of Possessor? I have not watched it yet. Apparently, I bought the regular Blu-ray, and there's an uncut Blu-ray that everybody that likes the movie is like, watch the uncut version, don't watch the regular version. So I'm kind of pissed. I'm kind of pissed that I bought the Blu-ray in good faith that I was going to enjoy the movie, and I didn't even get the better version of it. So I don't know. I'm a little I'm a little tiffed about that I bought it, and now I'm going to have to either buy the uncut one or watch the uncut version, because I don't want to watch the lesser version and maybe not like it as much. I don't know what the difference is between the uncut, if it's a huge difference, but I mean, everybody's like, watch the uncut, like it's this big, huge change. CK709, I did warn the joke was bad. If you had the helms to remaking Critters, what direction would you take it? Oh, God. Remaking Critters. I mean, you can't really remake the first one without doing the same thing, the home invasion, siege type of thing. I would maybe just make it, I would probably go a little bit more in the horror and a little bit less in the comedy side of things, maybe. I don't know. That's a question I don't have a very good answer to. The first one I enjoyed enough for what it is. I don't think that there's really a way you can improve the original. It's a B movie Gremlins ripoff that wears its exactly that on its sleeve. You either love it or don't like it at all. All right. I think I'm caught up except for, oh shit, there's one. Michael Swift, which Resident Evil game do you like the most, and are you looking forward to Resident Evil 8? That is my most anticipated game this year. Cannot wait for it. Which one do I like the most? Very, very close run between Resident Evil 4 and the Resident Evil 2 remake. Resident Evil 4 is probably the game that I have beat the most in my life. I have played the shit out of that game and beat it so many damn times. I love it to death. It is starting to age a little bit now. The last time that I replayed it, I was like, all right, it's not as fun as it was the last couple times. But then again, I know what's around every single corner. But Resident Evil 2, the remake, as far as like the horror side of Resident Evil, not the more actiony side, that is a flawless game to me. That was just a perfect horror experience. So one of those two. Alrighty here. Ben Grimm, what do you think of the demise of Family Video, the end of video rental franchises? I mean, the writing was on the wall. I'm kind of shocked that they lasted this long, to be honest with you. I have a lot of memories at Family Video because when I lived in Ohio, Family Video was 2 blocks up and 1 block over from my house. So I literally used to be able to walk to it. There was a Dairy Queen 2 blocks up, and then you go 1 block over, and there was Family Video. So right when I was at that like preteen age, and it shows you how different generations and how times are, because I would never let my kids walk to a fucking video store or store or anything like that without me. But yeah, I used to walk to Family Video and rent something and then walk home all the time. So I do have a lot of nostalgia for that store. It sucks, but I mean, that's just a dead business. I mean, is anybody honestly renting movies anymore? I mean, I guess there's people that maybe don't have internet or don't want internet or don't like streaming for some reason that still want that old school thing, but there's just nothing, there's no reason for it. Like, as much as we like to think like, man, if Blockbuster just opened today, I would go in a heartbeat, but would you genuinely rent a movie there? Would you walk in, pick a Blu-ray and be like, I know I can watch this instantly from my phone with 1 click, but I'm going to go to the counter. I'm going to make an account. I'm going to pay money to take this home for 2 days and then have to make a return trip back. It's just, it's just a dead model. So, like I said, I'm shocked that they didn't have their demise sooner. It sucks. Rest in peace, Family Video. But yeah, that's a dead industry, video rental. Thank you so much, David. Let's go do one of Sky's questions. Cody, what are your thoughts on That 70s Show, if any? It's one of my favorite, most rewatchable series that I'm binging through again. My wife loves that show, and she actually binged through it. Maybe it was on Netflix or something like that. She binged through it, I think, like a year and a half ago. And so I caught a number of episodes. I've never got into it to the point that I wanted to sit there and watch all of them, probably because it was mid-season every single time I'd sit down, but I did enjoy it the times that I did watch it. I'm not really a sitcom guy. The only sitcom that I've ever genuinely just fell in love with was King of Queens. Like, whenever I get into like a mood, I'll just throw on a random disc in my King of Queens box set, and then I'll be on like a King of Queens kick for like 2 months. So I've watched that so many times. So yes, the 70s Show, I do enjoy it. But I'm ultra casual fan, I would say, but my wife is a fanatic, so yeah, she's right there with you. They can donate if they want. What is somebody, dude, please, with the donations? Oh my god. Oh well. Leave. What the fuck, what are you doing? if you're frustrated because I'm only reading the super chats, it's because there's so many. Then I understand what you're saying. It sounds like the way you're putting it though is like, why are you giving this guy money? And like you said, they're just showing support. You missed my super chat, Cody. Ah, shit. Austin, I will keep an eye out for your comment. Just put the question below again. I don't want to. It's not going to let me go any higher. I'm sorry. Sorry that I missed it. Andrew L. Any plans to review Rudderless? Huge fan because of you. I have plans to do it. I don't know exactly when. I'm going to be doing my top 100 movies of all time here by the end of this month, probably, or the beginning of February, and it will be on that list. So maybe a couple of weeks or a week after I do that list, that is a movie that's going to be on that list that I do want to review, because Rudderless is one of those movies that's so incredible that it's painful how underknown and underseen that it is. And every single person that I've turned on to it is like, oh my God, that was incredible. Like, there's not been anybody that's like, it was okay. Or, I didn't think no, it's like everybody that watches it is like, why is this movie not being talked about? So yes, I do want to review it. I have ideas for intros and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't have like a date to tell you, but I do have that in my head. I love the Evil Dead remake. Any theory why no sequel, since Hollywood keeps pumping out a lot of crap horror? I don't know. I don't know if it's Fede Alvarez or what, but yeah, that movie was good. I think it was, or not good. The movie was great. And I think it was financially successful. So yeah, I don't understand why there's not a sequel to it. I mean, they're coming out with a new one. Was it Evil Dead Rise or something like that? Which could be fun. We'll see. But I am slightly disappointed that that's what we're getting, only because I know it's not going to have anything to do with the Fede Alvarez movie. It's just going to be right back into the Ash universe. So yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't know why. I don't get it. All right. Oh, I see my buddy Stay Metal Ray. Hey, big man, happy Thursday. What's your favorite Friday the 13th Jason mask? I got to go with Part 7, even though it's a terrible movie. Part 7 is my favorite Jason design. I don't know if the mask is my favorite. My favorite mask is probably Part 4. I like the little axe chop to it, and it's got that classic kind of dingy tan color with the red. So that would probably be my favorite mask. I'm struggling to remember what Part 7 looked like. I know there was pieces of it missing. But yes, terrible movie though. All right. Oh, there's Austin. It's okay. I asked why you don't have a Letterboxd. I don't enjoy Letterboxd. I tried it for a little while. I don't think that it's very intuitive. I don't think it's a very good app. I don't think it works very well. The only thing that I do with Letterboxd, honestly, is when I do these big rankings like 31 on 31 or these top 50s, is I'll use that to arrange my ranking, because I used to do a Word document and I would type it all out and do 1 through 50, but then I have to copy and paste and move shit around. If you do it in Letterboxd, you could just drag and drop until you have the list that you want. So that's the only reason that I do that. I don't enjoy putting all the time and effort into doing a video review and then turning around and doing a written review. It's just not for me. So that's why I don't have it. And I know there was a couple more up here. Let's see. Travis Bryant. I just answered that one. MJ Nation, my $9.99 super chat comment got missed. Son of a bitch. Okay. I'm going to pull up the video really quickly then and open up the chat there. But in the meantime, you don't have to donate. And I apologize, Austin, if that's what you thought I meant. You don't have to donate to get your comment again, but put your comment again down below and I'll keep an eye out for your name and I'll answer it there. But yeah, sometimes the way that this thing scrolls on this streaming app is it only lets you go up a certain amount and then it deletes everything above it. So let me see where we're at. MJ Nation, and it's not going to let me go any higher. Son of a bitch. Yep, MJ, put your comment down below. You don't have to pay for it, but I'll keep an eye out for it. I can't find it. Austin Wagner. So he's caught up. I think that is it. I think that's everything. All right, so we're caught up on Super Chat. You missed my chat, sir. I didn't pay for it. All right. So now we'll look at some regular comment. Do you like Do you like Full House? Because I got the collection so I could watch it again. I'm binging the fuck out almost through season 4. Got more discs for season 4 left. No, I never really got into Full House much. I might have watched it a little bit as a kid, but it didn't really have a lasting effect on me. Again, not really a sitcom guy. King of Queens really is the only one. And Two and a Half Men. I used to love Two and a Half Men back when Charlie Sheen was on it. But I haven't like rewatched Two and a Half Men. Whereas King of Queens, I think I've watched 5 or 6 times. All right, let's see. Patrick, missed my super chat. Question was top 5 Eddie Murphy movies. My favorite is Golden Child. Coming to him in no particular order. So Golden Child's number 1. Coming to America, Beverly Hills Cop 2. I feel like I'm blanking. Trading Places. And I feel like I'm missing an obvious one here, but I also really like Metro. I think Metro is a good movie. I feel like, one that actually would be close to my top 5 that not a whole lot of people would give appreciation to is Mr. Church. Mr. Church came out like 4 or 5 years ago. It's a very hokey chick flick type movie that is very sweet, and Eddie Murphy gives a really good performance in it, where it's this little girl, her mother's dying of cancer, the guy that she was dating is rich, pays for a private cook to come and take away all of the housework and the cooking and everything like that, while she basically spends her last days with her daughter. Eddie Murphy is that cook, and him and the daughter form this, kind of father-daughter relationship, and it's the rest of the story of her whole life. So it's a very emotionally manipulative movie, but I think it's really good. All right. Let's see where we're at. Did MJ ever post his comment? Let me see. MJ. All right. I review and talk music on my channel. I also made a video where I talk about all movies I've watched since the COVID thing started. What movie and music reviewers do you watch? As far as movie review, I really don't watch any music reviewers. Music reviews are kind of useless to me because music is just such a subjective thing that I don't care. It's maybe like people close to me, like maybe my dad, like if there was some new Metallica album and he's like, dude, it's horrible, then I would take it to heart. I'd be like, oh God. But music reviews are just weird for me. Music just hits you in the soul. And so it's weird to me to, like movies, I can read or watch a review and I can get an idea whether or not I can like it or not. Music reviews don't do that for me. But movie reviews, I pretty much only watch my friends. I'll watch Sean's channel. I'll watch CP's and Brian's and Lindsay's and a couple other channels. But I really don't watch movie channels that often. I spend so much of my headspace in movies doing my own channel and doing collabs and live streams and talking about news and reviewing things that I really don't like spending my free time doing the same thing. Whenever I watch YouTube, and I only go in YouTube little kicks here and there, like I'll do it for like a month and then I'll just pretty much watch TV shows. But if I get on a YouTube kick and I want to watch channels, I tend to watch other things. I tend to watch like cooking channels or food review channels or, other, I can't think off the top of my head right now, but like other things, getting out of the movie space. So yeah, there's not a whole lot of movie channels that take up a whole lot of my time aside from my friends, just because they're my friends and I enjoy watching them. And obviously I want to support their channel by watching their stuff too. All right, let's see here. Bigger Abomination, Bye Bye Man, or Black Christmas 2019. They both suck. I don't know. Black Christmas 2019 is a little more offensive just because it's using the name of a classic and doing nothing with it. And it's so preachy and beats you over the head. Like, men are terrible, that it's ridiculous to watch. And I'm not the type of guy that can't watch anything that's like poking fun at men, or I can't appreciate a feminist message or anything like that. I can, but even feminists hate that fucking movie because it's just it does not tell its message well at all. Whereas Bob My Man's just a generic, stupid horror movie. Let's see here. I got some Eddie Murphy recommendations. Life, Raw, 48 Hours. Yes. Stand-ups I wouldn't include in that. Otherwise, yes, Raw and Delirious would be up there. 48 Hours is good. Life I have not seen in years. Vampire in Brooklyn. Somebody mentioned that one too. Thoughts on Mr. Krabs being a new villain of Dexter? I touched on it a little bit earlier. I think it's awesome. I love Clancy Brown. He's an actor that I never think of, and then when somebody mentions him, I'm like, yeah, he's the shit. I think that he plays a great villain. So yes, I'm excited about that. I was already excited, then you had me that casting, and I'm like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, let's see. Have you seen Whiplash? Yes, Whiplash is awesome. That is a awesome movie. I didn't know anything about it. I think that back when I did watch movie review channels, because I wasn't on YouTube, I learned about Whiplash from Jeremy Johns, I believe. I think it was his #1 movie the year it came out. And I was like, what the fuck is this movie? I never heard of it. And I probably illegally downloaded it. I used to do that when I was young. I watched it and I was like, that was the shit. So yes, I bought it. I've bought every edition that has come out of it. I love that movie. Bought the 4K not too long ago. Bruce Willis or Arnold Schwarzenegger? Arnold Schwarzenegger, pretty easily, honestly. I love Bruce Willis, but the past, 10 years of his career is not really much to speak of. I love Looper. That was, the most recent thing that he's done that I've really enjoyed, but he's kind of tanked his reputation as far as I'm concerned. He just does, easy movies. I'm just going to do red box shit. Even some of the major, like when he did A Good Day to Die Hard, I lost a lot of respect for Bruce Willis because I'm like, dude, you took your biggest, most celebrated character in franchise and just made a garbage, quick, easy buck, shit out sequel. And not to say that Arnold Schwarzenegger hasn't made some bad movies. I think people would probably say that same thing with some of the Terminator sequels, but Bruce Willis, I'm just like, dude, it just feels like you don't even try anymore. Arnold Schwarzenegger is just a guy that had his heyday and it's just not in his heyday anymore. But if I was going to do a list of my favorite movies of all time, even though a Bruce Willis movie will be at the top of that list, there's going to be much more Arnold Schwarzenegger movies on that list. What scene do you find more shocking? The dog transformation scene from John Carpenter's The Thing or the chestburster scene from the original Alien? Definitely The Thing. Alien never really had an impact on me. I'll be honest with you. Alien is a great movie. It's never been one of my favorites. I've always loved Aliens. Alien is more a movie that I appreciate more than I enjoy. I like Alien, but spoiler alert for my top 50 horror movies that's going to be coming out, Alien is not on that list. It was on the preliminary list that I had 70 movies, and I just started, I arranged them and I was kind of knocking off the ones I'm like, well, I could lose that. And Alien was one of those ones where I'm like, it's just never had an impact on me. The chestburster scene never had an impact on me. It's awesome. And for the time, especially, holy shit, impactful. But I've just always been an Aliens guy. So Alien is one of those movies that's just, it's a part of a great franchise. It's a great movie, but I appreciate it more than I genuinely love it. Whereas The Thing has numerous scenes that just stick with me and have had an impact on me, and I just remember it. And that's that's the gold standard for a scene like that, is The Thing. When are you going to review The Thing? I had planned on reviewing it in December, but this fucking room, the water damage thing kind of took my plans for December and said, so I don't know. It's a movie. It's hard because, some of my favorite movies of all time, I don't have the biggest rush to go and review for some reason. I don't know if it's because I'm going to put so much pressure on myself to do the best review that I can, where everything else is so easy to kind of get into it. Die Hard and The Thing and one or two others are movies that I'm like, I need to review that shit. And then I just never make it around to it for some reason. But yeah, I again, it depends on how busy things get. an idea that I had, which I already kind of spoke on with Rudderless, is that after I get done with this top 100 movies of all time, is that I take some of those near the top of the list and I finally do reviews for them. So Die Hard, The Thing, Rudderless, and maybe one or two more. Maybe just for like a month, I'll do just reviews of some of my favorite movies. So maybe here very soon. And I think there's been some super chats because I saw some colors popping up at the top here. Yes, there's two. All right. Ryan, have you seen See No Evil 2006? Yes, but I remember absolutely nothing about it, and that should tell you what my reception of it was. That's the one with Kane, right? I remember watching it and not really thinking a whole lot of it. It was a horror movie that starred a wrestler. It's about all I can tell you about it. Would you watch and review The Beyond by Lucio Fulci? It rules. I do not care for giallo films. Now, granted, I could have just picked three that aren't really my thing. Back when I was in killer flicks, not to drudge up the past and fuck me because I mentioned what's his face and then there's going to be 18,000 questions about it. But back when I was in killer flicks, there was a point in time where suddenly giallo was the flavor of the month. Everybody was giallo fans because one guy suddenly became one. And so I was like, okay, let me check out some of these. Who the fuck just walked outside? So I checked out a few of them. So the first one that I watched was obvious, Suspiria. I watched Suspiria. I like Suspiria. I don't love Suspiria. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is just overhyped for me because everybody was talking about Suspiria like this is it. This is like top 5 of all time horror films. And for some people, I'm sure it genuinely is. I watched it and I went, okay, cool, interesting, different, artistic, colorful. Not on my top, maybe even my top 100 horror films. But I watched that. Then I watched Tenebrae, which is also by Dario Argento, which was another movie that even before Suspiria was the hot topic of the month, everybody was talking about how amazing Tenebrae was. I fucking hated that movie. I watched it and I think it was the score or something about it just bugged me the whole time. And I was like, this is just such a weird style of horror film. And it just does not mesh with me. My brain just doesn't process it right. Then there was The Beyond. The Beyond was something that I had seen, I think, on like the Bravo Scariest Movie Moments or something like that. I had heard of The Beyond somewhere. And so I bought the Blu-ray. I was like, okay, third time's a charm. And I watched it. And I'm not exaggerating. I had to restart the movie 3 different times because it kept putting me to sleep. And I've just never gone back to it. So I don't know. Giallo films, maybe one day I'll give it another shot. But my experience with it thus far is that it's not the subgenre for me. It's just something weird about it that just does not mesh well with my with me. Sorry. So yes. All right. Was there any more super chats or are we good now? I think that is it. Okay. Have you seen the movie Cuties? Nope, I have no interest. Not because I'm outraged by it, but even if everybody was like, "Oh, it's a good movie, it's a good message," I'd be like, "Okay, whatever." It's just not my thing. The controversy does not intrigue me to watch it because of that. So, let's see. Would you want to see another Die Hard sequel or possibly a remake? Absolutely fucking not to a remake. But a sequel, I think that series deserves a great final film. I think that it's horseshit if A Good Day to Die Hard is the last time we see John McClane. And there was an idea at one point to do a 5th Die Hard movie, or I'm sorry, a 6th Die Hard movie with the Nakatomi anniversary being the plot of it, where he has to go back for this anniversary of, that event and shit goes off. And even though it might seem derivative, that seems like a perfect little full circle storyline. And I don't think they ever announced it, but if they included Samuel Jackson in that, definitely sign me up. But then they started getting traction on this idea that was going to be brought by Len Wiseman, who is a director that I like, that a lot of people don't like. He's the one that brought the first 2 Underworld movies. He did the Total Recall remake, and he did the 4th Die Hard movie, which is a fucking awesome movie. Watch the R-rated version, but it's a fucking awesome movie. And it was going to be called, what the fuck was it going to be called? Die Hard, year 1 or some shit like that. And they were going to cast a young John McClane, and it was going to go back and forth. It was going to be a story with, current times Bruce Willis, John McClane. Sorry. Current times Bruce Willis, John McClane. And then whatever plot he was involved with was going to be somehow tied to one of his first cases, and it was going to flash back to the younger casting of John McClane, and it was going to include how he met Holly and all this other stuff. And I despise that fucking idea, even though I like the fact that Len Wiseman would come back for another one, because I love Live Free to Die Hard or Die Hard. That prequel bullshit idea, my asshole hurt just from reading it. I was like, why would you do that? First of all, I don't really care for prequels very much. Very few of them I like, because we're going to show how he met Holly. I don't give a fuck how he met Holly. I don't need to find that out. We don't care. We don't need to know that. And my whole thing with that is the entire premise of the first movie is that you take this regular guy, you stick him in this larger than life situation, and that was the first time that he had to rise up to that occasion and became this hero. If you give us a modern movie, obviously they're going to try to outdo it with stunts and shit like that, and you're going to totally undervalue the story of the first movie, because there was some shit that he did back in his 20s that was fucking epic, crazy Marvel movie size shit. I'm going on a rant. Nonetheless, I don't know if that got shelved or canceled or COVID fucked it up or whatever happened, but I haven't heard anything on that movie in over a year and a half. So I think it might be dead. But whatever they end up doing, I think that franchise deserves a great final film. Oh. Let's see here. Cody Leach, The Lost Boys versus Silver Bullet. Let me preface this by saying that I highly enjoy Silver Bullet. It possibly might be my favorite werewolf movie, which I know is not a popular opinion, because if you don't say American Werewolf in London, you're a fucking idiot, apparently. But I really do adore Silver Bullet. The Lost Boys stomps the living shit out of Silver Bullet. That is not even a fair fight. It Chapter 2 or Halloween 2018. Halloween 2018 all fucking day. And you guys know that I have some problems with Halloween 2018. It Chapter 2 sucks. If I could go back and redo that review, I would give it a skip it. I really would. It Chapter 2, when I rewatched it for 31 on 31, I was like, holy fuck, this is worse than I remember it. That is not a good movie at all. Halloween 2018 is a good movie with a lot of problems. I'm going to be doing a video at some point here, because I'm getting tired of all this fucking Halloween bullshit getting thrown my way. I can tolerate it, and I can look the other way, and I do a lot of jokes back. I throw all the jokes right back at all these fucking guys. But I think that it's time for me to do some kind of a video to clear the air, because that question right there, most of these fucking assholes would have expected me to take that as an opening to trash all over the Halloween franchise, which I have never done. So I don't know where I got this reputation for hating Halloween and being a Halloween hater or whatever the fuck happened, but there's going to be a video coming at some point soon where I'm going to clear the air on this whole Halloween franchise shit and try to silence some of these fucking morons that I keep getting, where I do a top 10 most anticipated of 2021, and fuck me, I didn't put Halloween Kills on there, so I'm just the worst person ever. So yeah, that's another rant. Now I'm in rant mode. Stop, please. Don't be rude. I don't know who was rude, but oh well. You're breaking my heart on Alien. Sorry. Gotta be honest. That's why you guys love me, right? I'll say what I say and how I feel, whether or not it's popular or not. All right. Sky, are you still in here? Yes, you are. Sky, let me see here. If you're not already a moderator, Sky, I'm going to make you one if you don't mind. And I'm not putting you to work. I'm not saying stop enjoying the stream and start, monitoring the chat or anything like that. But I definitely need a mod in here because it looks like some dumb shit's going. So let me see here. Believe in the Hype is in there. So I got one, but Sky is definitely someone I would trust to be a moderator. Where are you at now? Give me just a second, guys. Sorry. Well, now I don't see you. So Sky, next time you comment, I'll make you a moderator. Let me see now. Super chats. Sean Sheridan. Hi, Cody. Great chat. You and the whole Autop Stream crew. Good channels. Thoughts on Life 1999 with Eddie Murphy, Murder by Numbers 2002, and Cruel Intentions 1999. Sleepers, if you... Goddamn. Getting greedy. If you have seen them, some of my favorite films. Okay. Thank you, first of all. Life with Eddie Murphy, I have only seen once. I have almost no memory of it. Again, I bought it with the intention of rewatching it, but as you can see, I have quite a lot of movies and quite a few of them that I have not watched. Murder by Numbers is a decent movie. Early Ryan Gosling greatness. Sandra Bullock's pretty good in it. Not a classic by any means, but it's entertaining. Cruel Intentions, I have not seen that in years, but I've always thought it was a pretty good movie. Very, that was like the sexiest, dirtiest movie of that time when it came out. At least that's how it felt in my household, where it was like all this really sexual shit in it. And yes, I did watch it in maybe 2000, but I did watch it at that age. I didn't get a lot of what was going on, but I was like, all right, this movie's kind of cool. Sleepers, fantastic movie. It is a movie that is hard to watch, and it's not necessarily a movie that, it's not in my eye, that you want to watch over and over and over again, but fantastic movie. Very creepy Kevin Bacon in that one. CBMF, what are your thoughts on Sony's Marvel universe? I'm tired of the teasing, but I'm glad that they are Marvel films still made that aren't MCU. I mean, I really enjoyed Venom. That's really the only Sony Marvel universe that we have right now. I mean, technically the Spider-Man movies are Sony, but those are in the MCU, so it's kind of not exactly to what the point you're getting at. Morbius, I believe, is going to bridge that gap because they showed obviously that Vulture's in it. So I think Morbius is going to be that movie that's like, okay, Venom is tied to the MCU now. I don't think that, MCU is going to change any of their plans or revolve around what's going on with Spider-Man. But even with Spider-Verse too, that's kind of, that's going to open up doors too. But yes, I really enjoyed Venom. I'm looking forward to Venom 2. I'm looking forward to Morbius. It feels like they're going to flesh out the Spider-Man universe to where they can do their own things and not step on MCU's toes. So yes, so far so good. Favorite silent movie? I have never watched a silent movie. I have never watched one. Evan, hey Cody, Happy New Year, man. What are some of your favorite Blu-rays, 4Ks in your collection? Oh shit. Really the box sets are my favorites. There's not like a 4K that I absolutely love. I love my Phantasm set. I think that's an awesome box set. I love the Chucky box sets because they're very cool, both of them. That Friday the 13th box set is the shit. Even though I'm not a fanatic of the Friday the 13th set, the franchise, that set is awesome. Is there any more? The Omen set's pretty badass too. Yeah, so I'm a box set guy. I like when you get something, especially Scream Factory. There's not necessarily like individual Blu-rays that I'm like, this release here is the shit. All right. I think I'm caught up. Maybe, possibly. Maybe. Oh, Stay Metal Ray. Yep. Yes, you, sir, have been chosen. Bam. Stay Metal Ray, you are now with Wrench. Sky, you are now with Wrench. So yes, like I said, guys, I'm not putting you to work, but if you see stupid shit, feel free to time that person out. If they do it twice, feel free to boot them. So that is everybody's warning. Enough with the dumbass comments. All right. Ooh, let's see here. Have you ever played a Mega Man game? If so, what were your thoughts? I played a few of the early Mega Man games, like Mega Man 2 or something like that. My cousin always had those. See, whenever I grew up, I had the Sega Genesis. My cousin had the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo. So every single, until we were like maybe 7 years old, and he had other responsibilities as an older brother and couldn't come over as much. We both spent every single summer at our grandma's house because our parents would work. So when we were out of school, we would both be there. So we were thick as thieves. But I had the Sega, he had the Nintendo stuff. So anytime that he would come over, like all of my games were like his favorites because it was like this whole other world that he didn't have. And it was the same with me. Anytime we went to his house, he had Mega Man and Mario and all this shit. And I would just play the fuck out of all of it because it was like, oh my God, why don't I have all of this at home? And Mega Man was one of those games that I loved the most that he had. The Mega Man X series was always my favorite, though. Some of the early Mega Man games was always fun, but they were more difficult than fun. Mega Man X was just the more fun Mega Man games to me. The difficulty was still there, but it was scaled down a bit. You had some more powers and stuff. So Mega Man X and Mega Man X2, I played a lot of back in the day when I was a kid. I feel like there was like a Mega Man X7 somewhere in there that came out for PlayStation that I played the shit out of and beat. And then oddly enough, one of my favorite Mega Man games of all time is Mega Man Legends. Mega Man Legends came out for the original PlayStation, and it was more of like a RPG kind of. Like you could run around, you could shoot things and everything like that, but it was kind of had RPG elements to it. I believe it was like it had like an anime style to it too. It was the weirdest thing in the world on paper, but I loved Mega Man, so I played it, and that was probably always my favorite Mega Man game growing up because I just played the hell out of it. I wanted to go to all the little shrines or whatever you want to call them and go through and find a new gadget, and you could find like these little shoes where you could like, you know, skate across the world. You didn't have to run everywhere. New helmets and new Mega Man busters and stuff. So I loved the fuck out of Mega Man Legends. And I played Mega Man Legends 2, oddly enough. This is another funny story. So Mega Man Legends 2 came out, and it's not nearly as good as Mega Man Legends was, but I rented it and I played the shit out of it. And like the first night that I rented it, it was in December. I rented it. I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. And I called my grandma. And I was a spoiled little shit. So I knew anything that I asked Mama for, I was going to get. Very, very important person in my life. She was practically my mother. My mom was not around. So, yes, I get a little bit emotional. Sorry. I call up Mama and I'm like, hey, I have an idea for a Christmas present. It's Mega Man Legends 2. Can you get that for me, please? She's like, all right, honey, I'll get it for you. And I hung up and I kept playing the game all weekend. And I could tell I was at the final boss. And I was just having so much fun that I didn't even think about it. I was like, oh, shit. I called Mama back. I'm like, Mama, did you already buy me Mega Man Legends 2? And she goes, yes, you're not supposed to know about it. And I was like, I'm about to beat the game. Can you give that to Kyle? Who's my cousin? Can you give that to Kyle and get me something else? So, oh man, I didn't think about that in years, but that you think Mega Man and I get all the way up to that little rabbit trail. Will you ever do a collab video with Wham? I would if it was offered. I mean, I haven't had anything on my channel that I've done that would make sense for either of those guys. I mean, of course, maybe 31 on 31. There'll be one where I can ask them to be a guest on it. But yeah, I haven't had any ideas where I'm like, you know what, Wham needs to be a part of this. And I'm sure they probably haven't either. But yeah, I mean, I like both of those guys. I consider them friends, as far as I know, regardless of what may have happened with Hallow Stream and all that stuff. As far as I know, they're still cool with me. I haven't heard them say or do anything negative towards me. So yeah, I mean, I would do a collab with Wham in a heartbeat. I just haven't had any ideas to offer them, and I haven't had any offers thrown my way. All right. Will you do a trailer reaction when TCM 2021's trailer drops? Probably not. I don't really enjoy doing trailer reactions unless it's something major, like when Halloween 2018 came out or the Child's Play remake. If it's something that I'm like, holy fuck, I gotta watch this trailer, then I'll do a trailer reaction. Like the Batman, I would do a trailer. I did a trailer reaction to that. TCM is not that movie. I have zero excitement for this movie. This is a franchise that I just don't. I like some of the TCM movies a lot. I mean, I've reviewed them. You guys know my thoughts on them. I don't understand how this franchise keeps going, because it's literally been like failure after failure after failure after failure, and they keep redoing it, and they're like, all right, let's do this weird new thing, and let's try this reboot thing. And it's like, how many times can you restart this fucking franchise? I mean, you had the remake, which to me is far and away the best. I know people that grew up with the original would say I'm crazy, but the remake is the one that had the impact on me. So the remake is my favorite. Then I had the beginning, which I enjoy, but to me it was a big step down. Then you had Texas Chainsaw 3D, which is a piece of shit. Watchable piece of shit, but it's a piece of shit. Then you had Leatherface, which I appreciated to an extent. A lot of people did not. So you have remake, sequel or prequel to the remake. Then you have, all right, we're going to reboot it and go all the way back to the beginning. Oh, we fucked up. All right, we're going to reboot it and we're going to go before the beginning. Oh, we fucked up. All right, well, now we're going to do this movie, which I don't even know what the hell TCM 2021's concept is, what they're going to be going for. I hope it's awesome. I'm not rooting against it. That franchise certainly could use another good movie, but yeah, I just that name Texas Chainsaw Massacre is not one that elicits any excitement for me whatsoever. Any thoughts on the new Left 4 Dead type game they released? And I saw it on the PlayStation Store. I haven't watched a trailer or anything though, so I don't know how much like Left 4 Dead it is. But I enjoyed Left 4 Dead on the Xbox, both of them. So that would be cool if it's like PlayStation's answer to Left 4 Dead. Let's see here. Oh, super chat. MJ Nation, Led Zeppelin or Black Sabbath? Black Sabbath. Led Zeppelin, can't take anything away from them. Never been a big fan. They got a couple songs that I like, but it's never really been a band, like a classic band that I've just loved going through their discography. Black Sabbath, again, not one of my favorite bands, but I know quite a bit of Black Sabbath, both the Ozzy and the Dio stuff. So, yeah. God damn you with this shit. Was there another super chat? Yes, there was one more. T-Ball, would you ever review the Wrong Turn franchise? I actually got that same question earlier. Yes, at some point I'm going to have to. I had just said, let me see when the fuck this thing's coming out before I say that, because I don't want to set myself up. But Wrong Turn is, they have a new movie, like a reboot or something coming out this year. What is the release date? January 26th. Holy shit. Okay, so that's probably not going to happen. I was going to do a review series when the new one comes out, but I'm not going to get a review series done in a couple of weeks. So, yes, probably not going to happen. I will review the new movie for sure. At some point, I'll probably review the other ones, but it's not going to be on the priority list. Has Brian converted you into a Critters fan? Fuck no. All right. Oh, did I miss? Is this new ones? Oh shit. Oh shit. Custom shelves. Thoughts on The Wire? Recommended. No, they're not custom. They're from. I think I got the first 3 of them from Amazon, but now the only place that you can find them is Target. So every time I need a new one, I get them from Target. Or no, excuse me, I got that backwards. I bought the first 3 from Target, and now you can only get them on Amazon. When I used to work at Target, I got these. But they're just regular movie shelves that hold quite a bit, and I just have LED lights taped around the back of the shelf. So it kind of goes around the perimeter of each of the shelves. It's obviously brighter here, and it looks worse on camera than it actually is, but it gets dimmer as you go along because the LEDs are absolute pain in the ass. I don't recommend doing them unless you absolutely love LEDs. Thoughts on The Wire? I've seen maybe 6 or 7 episodes of the first season. I could never really get into it. It's weird because everybody swears by The Sopranos. Everybody swears by The Wire, but I've tried multiple times to get through both of those shows and get into it, and I just can't do it. It just for some reason it doesn't grab me. And I love the concept, like mob movies. I love mob movies. You got a mob TV show? Hell yeah. Could never get into it. The Wire, gritty cop shit? Hell yeah. Could never get into it. So that's all I have to say about that. Sean Sheridan, game question. Thoughts on Bully by Rockstar? Have seen 2018 once, decent, but not mind-blowing. My favorite Halloween is Halloween 4. Good mix of gore and tension. Favorite horror film is Vampires by John Carpenter. Interesting pick. I love Vampires by John Carpenter. It's not my favorite, but it's very underrated in my opinion. Game question. Thoughts on Bully? That's one of the Rockstar games that I never really got a whole lot of experience with. I played it when it first came out. My brother played it a lot whenever it got ported over to Xbox 360. But yeah, I never really played it too much. Rockstar games I'm kind of burnt out on because they just stick to that Grand Theft Auto formula and they just keep doing versions of that. Even Red Dead Redemption, which everybody swears by. I played Red Dead Redemption 2, got bored with it. I played GTA 5, got bored with it, couldn't finish it. They just, that whole open world, we're just going to go talk to people. They're going to give you a mission. You're going to drive, walk, or ride a horse to this person, tell them about the mission, then go do the thing, then go talk to this person, then go back and turn it in over and over and over and over and over again. I'm burnt out on that whole model. I know Bully wasn't quite like that. It was a little different, but that was the first. That was around the time that I started to get burnt out. Who would win in a fight, Dexter or Walter White? In like a physical fight, Dexter, easily. Who would fight, like if Dexter found out about Walter White and was going to take him out? I would still say Dexter, because as much as I love Walter White is smart as shit, but he does a lot of foolish things. Not that Dexter doesn't, but the way that Dexter works and being that kind of, monster in the shadows, I think he could take out Walter White pretty easily if he wanted to. So yeah, I would say Dexter in both of those. Walter White or John McClane? Oh man, why are you making me choose? John McClane. Walter White's a better character. I mean, he's more complicated and he's got more depth. John McClane's probably more enjoyable to watch, obviously, but yeah. I don't know. That's hard. Are you a fan of Slash and Miles Kennedy? I love Miles Kennedy in Alter Bridge. I have listened to some of Slash and Miles Kennedy. I'm not in love with it, but they do have quite a bit of good music that they've brought out. I'm not a fan of Guns N' Roses pretty much at all. There's a couple songs that I like, but Guns N' Roses is one of the most overrated bands in history, in my opinion. So, yeah, I love Alter Bridge, and I love Miles Kennedy as an artist. What he does with Slash is good. It's not necessarily my favorite thing in the world. Not that it's not good quality. It's just that genre of that kind of classic hard rock thing, it's just not, it doesn't, doesn't blow my skirt up as much as some of the other genres. Cody, you missed my super chat. Son of a bitch. Oh, okay, there we go. Devin Lott. Would you ever consider doing a David Cronenberg ranking? I'd love to hear your thoughts on all my time favorites, Scanners and The Fly. There's quite a few Cronenberg movies that I need to watch, actually. I've never seen Videodrome. Um, I've seen Scanners. I've seen The Fly. I've seen History of Violence. I've seen The Dead Zone. I think he's done quite a few others. And obviously, well, no, never mind. That's his son, not Possessor. I was going to say Possessor's out. David Cronenberg. Let's see how many of his movies I've never seen. Let's see who we can piss off in the chat by telling them what I've never seen. Holy fuck. Yeah, he's got a lot of movies. Yeah. So his movies that I've seen include Scanners, The Dead Zone, The Fly, History of Violence, Eastern Promises, end of list. So yeah. I don't see myself getting through all of his movies enough to do a ranking. The Fly is something I would love to review at some point. Scanners, I can give you my opinion on Scanners right now. I liked it. It didn't blow me away. I think the movie peaks very early on with that head explosion, which is like in the first 5 minutes. So it's cool. It's interesting. I like Ironside a lot. He plays a great villain. The concept is interesting. The ending is pretty cool. But it wasn't a movie that... it wasn't like an instant classic for me. We'll put it that way. The Fly, hell yeah, that's an instant classic. Justin, Cody, big fan. Will you consider reviewing Your Honor when it wraps in a few weeks? It's a slow burn at first, but worth the watch. I have not watched any of Your Honor. My dad actually just told me about that this weekend. Some new show with Bryan Cranston, if I believe, or if I remember correctly. I'm interested in checking it out. I don't know if I'll have the time to review it or even get through the show by the time it wraps, but because it has Bryan Cranston in it, it definitely has my attention. Tremonti or Alter Bridge? Alter Bridge. Tremonti is awesome, but Tremonti is so great and powerful with what he does with his music and his playing and his writing that when you pair it with Miles Kennedy, it just gets better. So yeah, I don't think Tremonti will ever trump Alter Bridge for me, but Tremonti's pretty fucking awesome. Let's see here. Did I get caught back up? Nope. Ryan Nelson, who is your most underrated Batman villain? Underrated would probably be Black Mask or Man Bat. I think those are both pretty awesome. Obviously, Black Mask finally got in a movie with Birds of Prey. I don't know if he was utilized as well as I think he could have been, but you always get the same ones. You always get Riddler, Penguin, Joker, Catwoman, not Mr. Freeze, Two-Face. But there's a lot of awesome villains like Black Mask that are like these lower level, not as well known villains that are pretty fucking cool and intriguing. Firefly is another cool one that I think I would love to see live action. Deathstroke. There's a lot of good ones. Batman's easily got the best rogues gallery. It's not even close either. MJ Nation, thoughts on the film Searching with John Cho? It's a good movie. It's an interesting concept, showing it all from a computer screen. The twists along the way are effective. It's a movie that on paper, it's like, hey, you want to watch this movie that's like a found footage Facebook thing, and it's got the guy from American Pie that says MILF. I'd be like, I don't know. But it's a really good movie. He's really good in it. And for the concept, it doesn't seem gimmicky. It's actually used to the movie's advantage. So yes, I would recommend Searching. SPC Bird. Hey, bro. Hope things are all well for you. They are. I'm a little tired, but they are. What are your thoughts on international horror films? I personally would say they're better than most American. I don't really have enough experience to say one way or the other. I've only seen a very select few foreign films. I've seen, if you consider Battle Royale a horror movie, I've seen Battle Royale. That was my first foreign movie. I've seen Raw, which I didn't really love as much as everybody else. I Saw the Devil is by far the best so far foreign movie that I've ever seen. That was like, holy shit, this is crazy. Martyrs I've seen. I've seen, I can count on, two hands, maybe even one hand, how many foreign movies I've watched. I've got a lot of work to do. Train to Busan. I just watched that a couple of months ago, finally. Good. Didn't necessarily blow me away on the level it seems it blew everybody else away, but I did enjoy it. MJ Nation, thoughts on the band Faith No More and Rush? Not particularly a fan of Faith No More. I really don't care for that song Epic. I think it's the dude's voice. Every time I hear it, it's kind of like nails on a chalkboard for me. There is some song by Faith No More that I cannot think of off the top of my head. Let me Google that. Faith No More biggest hits. Is it Midlife Crisis? Maybe it's Midlife Crisis. I'm going to play this for just a second. It is Midlife Crisis. I like Midlife Crisis. Disturbed has a really good cover of it. That's the only Faith No More song that I like. Rush, a band, again, that I don't have very much experience with, but they have about 5 songs that I really like. So neither one of them are bands that I would say are anywhere near my favorites. I would probably definitely prefer Rush, and there's a lot of talent in that band. It's just I don't have enough experience with it yet. So there you go. Still thinking about reviewing the Exorcist franchise this year. I would probably maybe. My plan was to review it alongside this remake that they were supposed to be doing. Obviously now that's going to be more than a year away. So we'll see. If it's coming out next year, I'll probably wait. If it's, maybe 2 years or plus, I might do that review series this year. I don't quite have my plans hammered out yet. I got a lot of things that sound good, but nothing that I'm like, hell yeah, that's definitely getting written down. Was there any more super chats? AZ's card. Thoughts on Mortal Kombat reboot coming in April? I have no thoughts because they have shown absolutely nothing about it. They've shown the poster of it. They've shown some of the casting. That is it. I don't know anything else about this. James Wan is like producing or some shit, which could mean absolutely nothing, or it could be that he has very high involvement in it. It's a movie that I could see being a cool reboot. I don't think it's going to be anything mind-blowing. I mean, the original Mortal Kombat, for my money, is still the best video game ever made, and that's a very, very guilty pleasure movie. So this new one, obviously, they're going to turn the gore way up. They're going to stylize it much more like the modern games. But story-wise, I don't know what the hell it's going to be about, what they're doing. I don't know the plot. We haven't seen a trailer. I don't know what to think about that movie. Let's see. Why do you think they have been unable to make even a decent Black Christmas remake? Because they don't understand why the original was so great. At least the new one. Like I'll say that the guy that made Black Xmas, I mean, obviously he is a big fan of the original. Maybe he understands what's great, but he just went in a totally different direction for the sake of doing it, which I applaud. Like I've said millions of times, if you're going to remake a proven classic, do something wildly different. He did. It's just not very good. Black Christmas 2019 just didn't do any of it. It didn't know what the fuck it wanted to do. So I don't think they understand why the first one was effective, and they don't know how to recreate that. The second one went way in the other direction, and the third one just used the name. What Metallica songs do you find underrated? Bleeding Me, Outlaw Torn, Struggle Within. Those are 3 for you. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. There's quite a few songs from the Load Reload era that I would say are underrated, but those are the main 3 that come to the top of my head. 2 from that Load Reload era and 1 from Black Album. Are you ever going to finish watching The Walking Dead? Sorry for asking a bunch of times. Probably not, honestly. It's I very, very rarely jump off of a show and then jump back on. The Walking Dead tried my patience for multiple seasons and then finally just pissed me off to the point where I was just done. So I didn't watch the first season that Negan is there. The whole season was the last season that I watched, and it was the worst season of Walking Dead since the show started, and they've had some doozies. So I was done. The season after that apparently was just as bad, if not worse, from what I hear from the fans. Apparently the season after that, when they had this time jump, is where things really started to pick up. But I don't want to have to go back and watch an entire season of Walking Dead that everybody says sucks to get to a season that a lot of people said is better. How much better? A little bit better? A lot better? The greatest season ever? I don't know. I just don't have the interest or really the time even to just, okay, fuck it. I'm going to go ahead and dump 16, 17 hours of misery into this show to hopefully get 16 or 17 hours of awesomeness. I don't see myself ever jumping back onto it. I mean, they've said that this next season or the season after that's going to be the final season of The Walking Dead, and then they're going to start a Daryl and Carol like spinoff, which makes zero sense to me. Like, okay, you're going to end the show and then take the two main characters, or at least I assume they're still the two main characters, and do a spinoff with them. That's still the fucking show. What the hell? Ugh. Zach Pope, what is up, man? By the way, the Walking Dead conversation, skip season 7 through 8, watch a recap and jump into 9. I think season 7 was the last one that I watched, so I would just need to skip season 8. Zach, is it that much better? Is it that much better? Because, like, if I'm going to talk about Walking Dead, like, I loved the first 2 seasons. A lot of people shit on season 2. Season 2 might be my favorite. Season 3 had a lot of good stuff in it, but was really disappointing. Season 4 was basically garbage. Season 5 was the one that I was like, holy shit, they're picking it back up again. When Rick was getting a little crazy and he became constable of that town and was, staring at that chick that he wanted to bang. And he's like, I'm going to fucking kill her husband. That whole season, and I think they had the cannibals too. That was a badass season. Then season 6 was pretty decent. That ended with the Negan thing that pissed me the fuck off. And then season 7 was absolutely trash. So like season 9, is it like season 2, season 5 level good, or is it like season 4, season 6 level good? Uh-oh. What did I click? Oh shit. Sean shared. Was that a super chat? Oh, it automatically went to it. That's interesting. Okay. Disagree with you on the Blair Witch Project. Like it even now. Favorite game is GTA 4. Worst horror ever seen is Paranormal Activity. Fair enough. A lot of people probably disagree with me on Blair Witch Project. I think that movie is absolutely terrible. Favorite game is GTA 4. Not mine, but again, fair enough. And worst horror ever seen is Paranormal Activity. I'm not a fan of that franchise, but it's far from the worst that I've ever seen. But then again, different strokes, different folks. The Walking Dead season 9 is easy top 3 of all the seasons ever. Okay. Maybe I'll jump into it and watch it. If I get bored enough and I get caught up with all this work that I have piling up with all these ideas, maybe I'll give it a shot. Are they on season 10 now? Or are they about to be on season 11? So is season 9 and season 10 like equally good, or is it like one awesome season and then it goes back into pretty decent? I'm asking a lot of Walking Dead question now. Is season 8 of Dexter a fuck this movie rating? As of my memory, yes. We'll see what my rewatch does. Dream Warriors or The Man Behind the Mask? Easily Dream Warriors. Easily Dream Warriors. That is one of my favorite songs of the 80s period. Do you like Randy Orton as an actor? Who the fuck is Randy Orton? Is that a wrestler? That is a wrestler. What the hell has he acted in? I have no idea. I'm going to assume no. Room tour soon? I don't know. There's not a whole lot to tour. I mean, maybe. I am, whenever I get to 50K, I am going to do a complete Blu-ray collection video. So that's kind of like a room tour because it's half my fucking room. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's not. I got my TV and my PlayStation here with some games in the corner. I've got my little workstation right here, and I've got that stuff back there. I don't know. Maybe, possibly. Kenneth, hey Cody, hope all is well. Are you still doing the Metallica ranking? Yes, I am. Sorry, I did the Godsmack one and I planned on following it up, but man, it's crazy. I don't know if maybe it's just a me problem, but YouTube is so hard to keep up with your ideas because as soon as you get one, there's like 2 or 3 things that pop up that you have to do something on, and then you get 2 more ideas, and then suddenly, before you know it, that first idea you had is gone. So Metallica ranking just kind of got shuffled to the side. I'm also going to be doing can't speak, Alice in Chains top 10 at some point. That was a Patreon request that I've had that I have a lot of ambitious ideas for. Is the only reason why it's taken so long. Assuming I get to that here soon, that's going to be a pretty awesome video if it's going to be as good as I'm thinking it's going to be. T-Ball, do you watch Better Call Saul? If so, what do you think? Better Call Saul is great. If you're a Breaking Bad fan, it's absolutely a must watch. It's not anywhere near, or not, I won't say anywhere near. It's not Breaking Bad level for me. It's up there, but it's definitely a show that's gotten better and a little crazier as it's gone along. The first season and a half of that show, it's definitely different. You're gonna watch it and be like, I don't know, this isn't quite Breaking Bad. There's something different to it, but it slowly starts to get its footing and show what the show is actually, trying to do by about mid-season 2, beginning of season 3. And like I said, it's a show that does get better as it goes along. So yes, it's an awesome show. Highly recommend it, especially if you're a Breaking Bad fan. There's a lot of things in there that you're going to love and enjoy. And even if you're not, even if you take out your knowledge of Breaking Bad, and I don't recommend, watching this if you haven't seen Breaking Bad, but I feel like it's a good show too that doesn't require Breaking Bad fandom. Shaban, have you seen The Lodge? I think Hugh Lewis streaming it reminded me of Hereditary. Yes, it definitely had Hereditary vibes to it. I actually watched it when I was on my honeymoon in the cabin, which a fitting setting, right? I was okay on it. I was lukewarm on it. To be honest, it kind of got ruined for me by a coworker. He was trying not to spoil it and then literally spoiled it. So it was like, when I watched the movie, I knew what he had said, and I was like, okay, well, it's got to have something else more beyond that if he wanted to tell me that. By like, he literally prefaced it by saying, I don't want to ruin the movie for you. And I'm like, okay, cool. I don't like movies being ruined for me. And then he told me a little bit about it. And that ended up being the big twist of the movie. And I was like, okay. So I don't know. I felt like it was pretty obvious where it was going. I don't know if it's because I had hinted, to me where it was going, or if because it was genuinely just the writing was on the wall. But yeah, it's a downer of a movie. It's well made, but it didn't do a whole lot for me, to be honest with you. And like I said, I don't know if it's because I didn't walk into it fresh. Would you consider doing a ranking of the main Cobra Kai characters? I don't know. I've had a couple of people ask me to, and that's the only reason honestly that I'm considering doing it. I want to be careful not to just do things that Sean's doing. And now obviously, I mean, Sean's not like reinventing the wheel or like doing these crazy unique ideas right now that would be like ridiculous if I did them. But I definitely like doing my own thing. I don't want to just kind of get stuck into where Cobra Kai comes out and I do the review and then we do the spoiler chat and then I do the ranking. And then it's just, if I do that, it's going to seem like I'm just doing the same thing that Sean's doing. So I've had a couple people ask me to do it though. So I don't know. I'll think about it. I don't typically dive into a series or a movie with that many ranking videos. I usually just like, okay, I'll rank the seasons or I'll rank the movies. Even in the past, when I tried to do the Marvel villains and the Marvel heroes, those videos went nowhere. So I don't know. My Cobra Kai ranking didn't even really do all that great, to be honest with you. It only got like 2,000 views, which is low for me for a ranking. So I don't think diving into the characters is really going to be worth it. And I'm not really passionate enough to be like, okay, let's rank all 15 of these characters. It's just not really my thing. So probably not. I'm debating it. If the more people ask me, I'll be like, okay, fine. But until people asked me, I had no interest in doing it. Trey, Cody, have you seen any of the seasons of Tales from the Crypt? If so, do you like it? And do you plan on reviewing it on your channel? I do not plan on reviewing it, and I have not seen any of the seasons. I've seen Tales from the Crypt, both of the movies, and I have seen some episodes back in the 90s, but no, I've never like got a box set or ordered it on Amazon to watch the old Tales from the Crypt stuff. So no, I have no plans on reviewing it. He's back. Who's back? Who? Thoughts on Soul? I haven't seen it yet. I actually had screener access to it for a couple of weeks before it came on Disney Plus. Like I said, December was just kind of a shit month as far as my schedule and my plans, so I didn't get a chance to watch it. I didn't really know if I was going to review it. I don't think kids stuff, Disney stuff tends to do very well for me either. Understandably, I have a very adult heavy audience. But yeah, I don't have any thoughts on it. It looks interesting. I'm sure I would enjoy it. Animated films don't necessarily go high on my priority list very much. It just, I don't know. Even Pixar, that's a very proven property or a proven studio. I just, that concept didn't jump out to me. Like in Incredibles 2, I was like, day one, I'm fucking there. Toy Story 4, day one. Soul, I was like, I'll see it eventually. Thank you for that donation. Oh, he's the man behind the mask. See what you did there. Do you connect with John Mcclane because his wife is the same name as yours? Funny enough, that took a while for that to dawn on me, that we actually had, both had Hollies in our life. All right, let me see. I think I've almost caught back up. Thank you, Ethan Hunt, and may the missions not be so impossible. Thank you again. One thing I will say, guys, and this is not like, you could easily twist this into sounding greedy, but just for your own knowledge, for these small little donations, like 99 cents, $1.99, especially like FHS, you just did 2 of them. YouTube takes a pretty decent chunk of these, like 25, 30%. So if you want to donate, it's best to do it all at once. If you do it in multiple ones, like you just did, you're giving much more percentage of it to them. So just, I'm only saying that for knowledge base because YouTube doesn't advertise that. The more you know, I guess. Do you think they could do a movie or miniseries of the Medal of Honor video games? I don't know enough about them to be able to say yes or no. I don't think so. No, I don't think a war video game movie is going to stand out from regular war movies enough to really merit being made. Cody, you skipped my super chat. I thought I just read one from you. That one there. Did you do another one? No, okay. You must have thought I skipped it and then I read it and you were like, oh shit. All right. Justin, when you review Rudderless, would you consider doing the review with your dad? Also, how did you first hear about it? Thanks for the recommendation, by the way. I don't think that review makes any sense to do with my dad. I would love to have my dad on a video at some point, but it would have to be something that is just really something that he would be excited about. He likes that movie, but I don't think that would make sense to put him in there for that. How did I first hear about it? I passed the trailer like on YouTube, like a YouTube ad randomly one day. And I was like, oh, that was kind of good. I don't have anything to do tonight. Let me pop that in. Oh my God, one of my favorite movies of all time. So that's kind of, it was like right place at right time. And I've been singing its praises ever since. Michael Swift, season 10 is good. It almost done. They add in 6 more episodes. Sunday is when the show will air again. Okay. Interesting. All right. Let's see here. Want to watch Survivor tonight? Holly is on a Survivor kick. It went to Netflix, or maybe it's always been on Netflix. And for the past month or so, every single time that I go downstairs, like if I'm doing something like this, I'll go downstairs and she'll be watching a random season of Survivor. So this most recent season that she was on, which was, what fucking season was it? If any of you have any Survivor knowledge, it was the one where Coach and Ozzy, I guess, were like returning champions. I watched most of that whole season with her, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was. It's old as fuck because in the season they go to see Jack and Jill with Adam Sandler, so it's at least like 10 or 12 years old. But yeah, so I guess we're gonna watch some more random seasons of Survivor just to kind of, I don't know, luck across maybe some that are really enjoyable or get caught up. I don't know. There's like fucking 85 of those seasons, but yes, my dear, we can watch Survivor here in just a little bit. So I'm at 2 hours and 15 minutes. I'll go to 2 hours and 30. So about 20 more minutes, guys, and then I will be done for the night because I still haven't even ate dinner. Let me see here. I see a lot of conversation. I'm trying to find a question. Oh, there's a super chat. Thoughts on the Shawshank Redemption and Green Mile? If you've seen them, have both PS5 and Xbox Series X, PS5 better machine, Xbox personal choice console. Thoughts on Shawshank Redemption and Green Mile? Shawshank Redemption is easily one of the greatest films ever made. Green Mile is, I would also say, one of the greatest films ever made, but Shawshank I've always held in much higher regard for some reason. They're both awesome. They're both very good movies. So if you have not seen them, what the fuck is wrong with you? No, Shawshank Redemption is a great, flawless movie, basically. Green Mile I haven't seen as much. I don't know if I would go as far as to call it flawless or not, but it's a damn good movie. Thoughts on TFTC? Do you like it? Not like it? What the fuck is TFTC? If that's an abbreviation, I'm totally missing what the hell you're abbreviating. TFTC. I need clarification, Trey. You don't have to pay for it, but let me know what TFTC is standing for because I'm blanking right now. Hasta la vista, Terminator. Hi there, Cody. I'm a massive fan of your channel. At the time when Terminator 2 Judgment was made, do you reckon it still would have been a classic if Arnold played the baddie and Robert played the goodie? No. I think the entire theme of that movie would not work. That would be a completely different movie. So no, I don't think it would be the instant classic that it was. I think part of what makes that movie so incredible is that you flip the script and make Arnie the good guy, and it just, that creates a lot of the tension and a lot of the struggle that Sarah Connor herself goes through in that movie is learning to trust him. So yeah, I don't think that would work at all. Let's see here. Did you film Dexter season 4 review but wait to upload because of Lindsay? No. I don't think either one of us have filmed it yet. Things just got busy. Like I said, I've said it numerous times now about December, but December really fucked up a lot of my plans that I had. And I'm not quite out of that rut yet because I have these top 50s and this top 100 that I was planning on getting all those done in December. Plus, we have 31 on 31 coming up. And Lindsay's doing that. So I don't think she's especially going to be able to do anything until after the end of January. I could squeeze out a Dexter season 4 review if I wanted to, but I'm not trying to pressure her. She's got a lot less availability to be able to work on things than I do. So, yes, I would not expect Dexter season 4 until early February. But then again, maybe we'll surprise you. You a fan of the show Supernatural? I am so far behind on it, but yes, the last season that I watched was the one where Dean dies, and at the end he opens his eyes and his eyes are black, so he's a demon now. I had tried to get caught back up with it with Holly whenever we first got together. She started watching it because I wanted to get caught back up. She got to like season 6 and then kind of fell off. And I have yet to get back into it because I don't want to watch what's like I'm probably like 100 episodes behind at this point. I don't want to watch 100 episodes of a show if she doesn't really follow what's going on. So it's her fault. No, I haven't had the time to get caught back up on it. I was hoping I was going to be able to get caught back up on it before they ended it, and then that got away from me too. Did you not get my letter yet? It was not in your unboxing video today. If it was not in that unboxing video, then no, I did not get it yet. I have been to my P.O. box a little over a week ago, so I'll check it again here soon. Papa Leach and you should review the first horror movie he ever showed you. I mean, I've already done a review for Child's Play 3. I'll think of something. I've had that idea in my head for a while to do something with my dad. I know I talk about him all the time. So at some point I'll think of a cool idea. And that Metallica ranking actually might be it. You know, that's something that I think would actually be fun to do with him. So we'll see. I will at some point figure out an idea to do that though. Are you going to review the rest of the Leprechaun series? I rewatched them all recently and most haven't aged that well. That is a series much like Wrong Turn that I'm not in a hurry to do. The only reason I reviewed any of them was because there was one that was brand new that was coming out. So yeah, I haven't watched any of those in a long time. I've always liked the first one, even though it's a guilty pleasure. I loved the third one when I was a kid, but I haven't seen it in years, so I don't even know if that would still be true or not. Again, that's a franchise that eventually I'll have to get to, but I'm not necessarily in a giant hurry to. Now we got everybody talking about Survivor. South Pacific, season 23. Ossie's a beast. Thoughts on the original Saw movie? I have a full review if you want all of my thoughts. It's a good horror film that is incredibly overrated. That's kind of what I would sum up. Everybody loves that movie because of the ending. And to me, it's not even the best ending in the series. So yeah, it's good. It gave us James Wan. They were able to do a lot with a low budget. Obviously, it created one of the bigger horror franchises of the past couple decades. So who the fuck am I? But not really a big Saw fan. You get 100K for each time you watch Freddy's Dead in a row back to back. How many times could you watch it? If I'm getting 100K, I can watch the fuck out of it. Trust me. If somebody's giving me 100K every time I watch it, I'll marathon that motherfucker for a month. Let's see. Lost Boys. Hey, Cody. Love the channel, man. Sorry, I had a piece of something on my lip. Love the channel, man. Literally listen daily. One reason why I started my own channel was watching your videos and the Autop stream. Well, awesome. I'm glad to hear that, man. Good luck with your channel, and I'm glad we could influence you there. Thoughts on the Mandalorian Season 2 finale? I have not watched any of Mandalorian Season 2, although that was a stupid decision because the internet did what the internet did and spoiled a lot of shit. But yeah, the Mandalorian, I had planned on starting to watch it when it was almost done with the season because I like to binge things and not watch them week to week. And then time got away from me, and the last couple episodes aired, and I didn't get a chance to get into it to watch it. And then, less than 12 hours after the premiere, pictures of people who were in the season 2 finale started floating fucking everywhere. So I'm like, oh, I guess that happens, which is not a big deal. I'm a casual Star Wars fan. I thought I was a big Star Wars fan until I joined YouTube, and I'm like, oh, I'm nowhere near where some of these people are. So I'm very casual. Knowing what I know about the season 2 finale is not going to ruin it. I mean, when that scene comes, even if I didn't know, I wouldn't have a giant emotional reaction to it. So here soon, I will get caught up on it and watch it, though. I really enjoyed season 1. I want to hear your best British accent. Didn't somebody make Brian do an American accent? Was that you too, Dale? Are you the mastermind of all this? I could do it if I was just off the cuff. It's hard when I'm on the spot to do it. So I would just have to kind of do Brian's accent. Let me see. Try to do Brian. Christopher Nolan. See, I can't do it. If I'm on the spot, I can't do voices. Voices roll out of me naturally, but if I'm on the spot, I'll fuck it up. Christopher Nolan is the greatest person. Lost Boy TV. Hey, Cody, love. Oh, I just read that. God damn it. I didn't miss any, did I? No, I didn't miss any. All right, so let's see here. About 9 more minutes, guys. Do you think the inmates in Cobra Kai season 3 might end up actually joining Cobra Kai? Possibly. It didn't really dawn on me. I kind of felt like their story was in and out. It was just to get Robbie where he needed to be mentally for where they wanted him to be. I don't think it wouldn't surprise me one way or the other. If they showed back up, I'd be like, oh, okay. But if they never mention those guys again, I don't think anybody would notice. Will everyone come together to do a huge live stream on the next 31 on 31? Probably not, honestly. For a multitude of reasons. First of all, when we did the creature feature one, that live stream ended up being 4 hours long, and that was just 4 of us. So now you're adding 2 more people into that in a franchise, not a franchise, but in a collection of films that Brian especially is going to get very opinionated about. So I think Brian himself would tell you that you might have a 4-hour stream if he's the only one talking. So no, I don't know. And I don't want to do something where I just assign everybody like, okay, you talk about this one and then you talk just to keep it streamlined. I mean, I won't say never. I won't say for sure no, but we talked about that like literally the moment that we got offline from the creature feature one. We were like, all right, so we doing one for Nolan and the director one, because there's like 6 of us and that was 4 hours long and holy shit, my ass is sore. So yeah, that it might not happen. And we're all very busy with the new year too. So this one might just be the 31 on 31s and not have a debrief. Any plans for Autop Stream or Dead Air podcast coming anytime soon? The problem with that is that CP is not super available right now. A lot of you guys that know him and his situation know what he's going through. So I mean, CP hasn't even been on the line in like a week. So Dead Air is definitely up in the air right now. Not that I'm not gonna cancel it or anything, but just it might be a little while before we get one, because he's dealing with his personal stuff. And same for Autop Stream, obviously. So there's not like any big thing that has come out that has merited us all getting back together and doing a stream just yet. Obviously, we need to do more. I'd like to do more. Last year, we didn't do too many. We did a lot. We did probably as many Dead Airs as we did Autop Streams, and Dead Air was something that we put together like the last couple months of the year. So I don't know. I don't know when to expect that. I can hopefully let you know more info by the time I'm live again. But as of right now, I'm kind of just letting CP worry about his personal stuff, and I'm not trying to, drag him onto streams right now. Let me see. Do you like Megadeth and Anthrax? I loved Anthrax with John Bush. Without John Bush, I'm not as big of a fan. Worship Music was a pretty good album. But yeah, that John Bush era was when I loved Anthrax. Megadeth, I've tried numerous times to get into Megadeth. They do have some good songs. Like, they have some really good songs here and there. Something about Dave Mustaine's voice. I'm really particular about the singing in any, even metal, where sometimes they're just more shouting. He's got a very strange cadence to his singing that has never quite worked for me. Tales from the Crypt. Well, what was that last question? Because I've already forgotten what you were asking about TFTC. Regardless, I mean, I can't find the question, but I loved Demon Knight. Did not care for Bordello of Blood. If it was a question about the movies, if it was a question about the show, I have no experience with it. None that I can remember. Would you rather rewatch The Fanatic or Die Hard 5? Easily The Fanatic. The Fanatic's a worse movie, but The Fanatic is so bad that it's good. Die Hard 5 is not. Die Hard 5 is just bad. Solo video on The Shining? Probably not. I do have updated thoughts on The Shining that would almost merit me doing a singular review, because the only review I have on my channel is when me and Sean just had a live stream chat about it. I would give it a little bit higher review than I gave back then. That's one of those movies that every single time that I watch it, my experience is a little bit different. I'll watch it and I'll be like, yeah, that's really good. It's not necessarily a movie I want to watch over and over again. And then I'll rewatch it and be like, oh my God, it's fucking awesome. So I'm kind of on the, oh my God, it's fucking awesome train right now. So yeah, I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 when I reviewed it with Sean. I would give it at least 4.5 out of 5 if I reviewed it right now. I still don't love, even though I understand the whole story with her being tormented on set and everything like that, I still don't love the Shelley Duvall performance in that movie. I think that it gets a little bit annoying for me by the end with how much she's just so broken. And I know that's what they were going for. That, and, maybe a little bit too much weirdness and ambiguity in that movie that just goes unanswered. Just a little bit too much. I like some of it, but just a little bit too much. Like, I mean, the turns the corner and the guy's, sucking off the bear. It's like, okay, where the fuck is that David Lynch shit coming from? So yeah. Do you play Dead by Daylight yet? No, I have not actually. I need to try it, but I've been going from game to game to game. I haven't really played anything. I had a little lull between games to play anything multiplayer wise. All right. I'm going to do 5 more questions, guys. So we'll get this one super chat out the way. Hope all is well with the guys. Much love to all of you. Thank you so much. All right. So we'll do 5 questions. R.I.P. Cody Leach's Jaws review. Yep. Ran out of time. What about Evil Live? We haven't had that in a while. That is true. I haven't really had anything topic wise to merit a live stream. If something here comes out soon that's like a topic that I could start kind of jumping on, I'll do an Evil Live. But like I said at the beginning of this, I am going to try to do more live streams. Sucking off a bear or an actual animal? No, it was a dude in a costume, but it's a little weird little moment that never really gets addressed. Let's see. All right. So what is it? 4 more questions. Gremlins or Gremlins 2? Well, you can get my full thoughts on that debate on my 31 on 31 creature feature video, but absolutely far and away the first Gremlins. The first Gremlins is an absolute classic. Gremlins 2, I don't enjoy at all. That what the fuck is that? That's a thing that exists. Have you played The Witcher 3? I have. Last December, 2019 December. I had got it. It's lagging. Oh, sorry guys. I had got it and it I got really into it, and it was so big that I dumped at least, 20, 30 hours into it, and then I just kind of got burnt out on it. It was such a huge game that I never really felt like I was making any progress. I was like, I've done hours of missions and I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere in the story. Like, I don't know if I'm halfway there. I don't know if I'm a quarter of the way there. Oh, man. All right. 2 more questions. Thoughts on The Usual Suspects? An awesome first watch. It's one of those movies that has a twist that I feel like once you know the twist, your viewing experience isn't quite as good. I could be alone in that. I've seen that movie 3 or 4 times, and it's not a movie that, like, it would never make it on like my top favorites of all time. It's a great ending. It's definitely one of the best endings of all time, and it's got great early Kevin Spacey. And some really good moments to it. And it is a good story overall. But I feel like once you know the whole Kaiser Soze thing, when you go to watch the movie, it's not as, that ending like hits you like, holy shit, you don't really have that level ever again. And it's not one of those movies that you go back and watch it and you kind of put the pieces together now that you know the truth. It really only has significance in that last 2-3 minutes. All right. One more question. So we got to find a good one. Oh, wow. The chat is lagging like a bitch. Sorry, guys. I don't know how long that's been going on, but you guys are responding to shit I said like 10 minutes ago. Do I have... Let me see here. Yeah, the chat's looking a little bit weird. Okay. All right. This is not going to count, but I did not hear that, and that is fucking awesome. Here we go. I'm going to end on this one. What do you think about M. Night Shyamalan's Signs? It's one of my personal favorite movies. Yes, same here. It is one of my personal favorite movies. It is actually the first movie and only one of 2 movies that I have ever seen 3 times in theaters. And I've never seen a movie more than 3 times. I know I heard like Brian tell stories and stuff where he's seen like 7, 8 times in cinemas. I've never loved a movie enough to go see it that many times, but that's just me. But Signs, I fell in love with when that movie came out. I went and saw it with my dad, and I think at the time my mom was around for maybe a week or so. I saw it with them, loved it. And then I convinced my grandma, who had not been to the theaters in decades, to go to with me to see it. And she went and saw it with me, and she really enjoyed it. And then later on, like maybe a week or 2 later, I was bored, and my best friend at the time, my dad's best friend, his son was my best friend, like, because they hung out all the time, we hung out all the time. So I think they were hanging out, and we wanted to go do something, so we got them to drop us off at the movie theater, and me and him went and saw Signs. So yeah, that was the first time, and the only other Am I back? Can you hear me? Should be able to. I bumped my cable. The only other movie I've seen 3 times in theaters is what am I blanking? The Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I've told that story in my review. I saw I saw the remake midnight the night that it came out. I got off of work at like 11, went to go check it out. I really enjoyed it the first time I saw it in theaters. It wasn't perfect, but I really enjoyed it. The very next night, we were back at work. Our manager was talking about it. We were like, let's go see it again. So he went with us, and we saw it again the very next night. And I liked it a little bit less, but I still thought it was pretty good. Then I go home. The next day I had off, and I had forgotten that I had basically had plans to go see that movie with my dad. And so we woke up the next day. He's like, hey, you want to go check out that Freddy movie? And I was like, fuck. Yeah, let's go. So 3 times in 3 days, I saw the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. And when I walked out of it the 3rd time, I did not enjoy it at all. I don't know if it was because I was burnt out on it or if I just suddenly saw the flaws or what. But yeah, I went from liking it to liking it to not hating it, but like, oh, I don't need to watch that again. So I answered that question because I had many details to add to that. Is Holly Leach Mrs. Leach? Maybe. I didn't have any dinner and I'm going to drink wine. Somebody better stop me. Okay, well, I'm coming down to stop you. All right, everybody. That is it for me. I didn't miss any super chats or anything, did I? Oh, shit. I did miss one. Cody, do you plan on reviewing the Hellraiser franchise? Eventually, yes. I don't have like there's supposed to be like a remake or something coming out, or a TV series or something. I do have plans to do Hellraiser. I don't know if it's going to be this year or not. It might be, but I do have plans to review that franchise. As far as like franchises that I think is going to be kind of a bitch to get through, that's the one that I'm probably going to do next. Like you guys mentioned Leprechaun, you mentioned A Wrong Turn. Hellraiser is definitely going to be a chore, but I'm intrigued enough by the concept that, or what I could do with it, that I'm probably going to do that one first as far as these bad franchises. So yes. All right. Is that it? Did I clean out the last couple? I believe so. All right. All right, guys, that is it for me. Thank you so much for all of the super chats, especially. That was a lot tonight. So thank you guys. Very generous. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for the awesome questions. Thank you for hanging out with me. Like I said, I'm going to try my best to do more